Architects and Interiors India's flagship property, Design Debate, is all about taking on contested topics in the field of architecture and design and creating a platform to know the thoughts and views of the masters in the industry through panel discussions. It is a multi-city event where every month we have head to a new city, and we are proud to have conducted 39 editions so far. And it gives me immense pleasure to return back to the economic and commercial center of Gujarat, Surat, to host our 40th edition with a brand new theme, Sustainability versus Profitability, Finding the Balance. We are looking forward to an exciting panel discussion as the fourth season of Design Debate seeks to dissect this duality that architects and designers grapple with, balancing sustainable practices with cost effectiveness and profitability. We are delighted and grateful to bring together the experts from the world of architecture and design. So welcome to this evening, replete with knowledge sharing, and let us have a huge round of applause for Architects and Interiors India's Design Debate, the Surat edition. So to begin with, I'd like to invite on stage Mr. Indrajit Saoji, Group Publishing Director from ITP Media India, the person who has ideated this platform, to kindly deliver the opening address. Can we please have him on stage with a huge round of applause?
It's wonderful to be back in this lively, entrepreneurial city of Surat for the second time in 3 years, bringing this Design Debate Surat edition yet again. Today feels extra special as we celebrate the 40th edition of Design Debate in this incredible series. It's a milestone we have achieved thanks to your unwavering support over the years. Let me start by acknowledging and applauding each one of you here today for not only being a participant in this celebration, but for taking time out and having a meaningful discussion even on a working day, taking time out and being here with us. Your presence truly reflects your commitment to shape the future of design and innovation. A huge round of applause for each one of you in the hall. Surat has always been an impressive city for me. Surat is a city that embraces change while staying deeply rooted, known globally for its thriving textiles and diamonds also. Surat is also quietly establishing itself as a hub for sustainable innovations. This unique blend of tradition and forward thinking makes it a perfect backdrop for today's theme, sustainability versus profitability, finding the balance. Some might still say sustainability is an expensive luxury, but there is a limit to how much we can actually exploit our resources, how much more we can afford to extract from Mother Earth. The reality is stark, as we have only one planet and only one home. It's our collective responsibility to conserve, preserve, and hand over a beautiful legacy to the next generation. Not just because it's the right thing to do, but because it's the only way to move forward. Here's something to reflect on. Have you ever noticed how small, seemingly unrelated habits impact the entire world? For example, you can take disposable plastics. A decade ago, it seems like the most practical invention. Light, cheap, convenient. But today, plastic pollution is one of the biggest crises we are facing. It's a stark reminder that short-term convenience can lead to a long-term damage, and it's irreversible at times. Similarly, businesses driven socially totally by profitability may overlook their impact, creating challenges for generations. The question is not whether we should embrace sustainability, it's how we can align with profitability. But yes, the good news is businesses making this shift have already seen results. lower cost, greater efficiencies, and better consumer connect, a better consumer trust. India has a rich heritage of sustainable practices from stepwell or bowlies and ancient irrigation systems to climate responsive architecture. These ingenious methods respected nature while serving the communities. Yet rapid urbanization has caused us to drift from these values. Our challenge today is to rediscover this wisdom and innovate for the future. Initiatives like this Mission Life, Lifestyle for Environment, led by our visionary Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, bringing sustainability back into mainstream practice. These are the kind of initiatives we need to look at. When we begin planning for this particular design debate talk, like this particular season of design debate, there were multiple themes we went through. There were multiple themes we were deliberating on. By the way, like design debate, this is the fourth season we are going ahead with. The very first season we started with a burning topic, tradition versus technology. The next year we have taken a topic, aesthetics versus economics. Last year we toured the country with a topic, monumental architecture versus accessible architecture. And while we were deliberating what should be the topic this year, we begin at the planning stage with multiple things floating around because we have to carry this theme throughout the country. After insightful discussion with architect Snehal Shah, we finalized today's topic, sustainability versus profitability. It's the topic that resonates deeply across industries, sparking debates while offering solutions as well. Let's take this moment to give a big round of applause to our Sutradhar Snehal ji for his vision, dedication, and this thought-provoking theme. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. It's also my honor to welcome our guest of honor, architect Parikshit Talati ji, principal architect at Parikshit Architect and past chapter chairman IIA Gujarat. Your exemplary work and leadership have inspired countless individuals in the architectural community, and we are thrilled to have you here. Thank you so much for your time, sir. The evening discussions will be divided into two dynamic panels. Panel 1, the Doyens panel, featuring this, Panel 1, the Next Gen panel, a showcase of emerging talent, redefining sustainability and business practices. Panel 2 would be featuring celebrated veterans who have shaped the industry over decades. Both the panels will be moderated by the insightful architect Snehal Shah, who consistently pushes boundaries with thoughtful design solutions and mentorship. This particular event couldn't have been possible without the support of our incredible partners. Our powered by partner, eCapitolite. They are the leaders in innovative finishes, transforming how you experience surfaces. The team is led by Karan and Sakshi. Karan and Shreya. Yeah, Shreya is the answer, sorry. And they have a beautiful proof of concept behind. And like I urge to please visit the booth whenever you find time and to know more about what are the possibilities with these amazing finishes. We have Shuko, our associate partners, redefining energy efficient solution for modern fenestration. They have put a proof of concept behind, and they will let you know how you can integrate the exteriors with the interiors, and that to sustainability, that to keeping sustainability in mind. Ozone Overseas, pioneer in sustainable and stylish hardware solution, proudly carrying the Make in India flag. Then we have Bunidam, led by Ashish and Karan. They are here to tell you how revolutionizing entry systems for safety, sustainability, and seamless access can be done. And though Ashish was not keeping well, I insisted, and he traveled, and he was like, "Yaar, Surat mein agar maine safety or security nahi dikhai, to kahan dikhai?" The diamonds and textile barons are here. Welcome, Ashish. Thank you once again, all the partners. Your dedication to sustainability and innovation inspire the entire design community. Before we dive into the discussion, let me introduce the ITB Media Group to you through a small AV. Think of this as a window into a vibrant world of ideas that take shapes. Stories come alive, and the platform like Design Debate are born. From streaming benchmark in the industry, conversations to connecting creative minds globally, ITB Media Group stands for innovations, collaborations, and excellence. With this, I hand over the stage to our talented host for the evening, Shiraz Khan, who will guide us through these exciting discussions. Let's not see this day as just a conversation, but as a beginning of change. Together, let's reimagine growth that doesn't just serve today, but leaves a legacy for tomorrow. Sit back, relax, and enjoy your evening. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Architects and Interiors India's Design Debate aims at presenting the most trusted and renowned brands in the field of architecture and design. And having said that, we are delighted to partner with a brand that offers a plethora of finest quality wood finishes and polishes. Can we have the AV, please?
Italian wood finishes. Good taste shows.
I would now like to invite Ms. Shreya Chakrabarti from ICA to kindly come on stage and present further about their range of Italian wood finishes.
I think it's fair to say that even though ICA is based out of Bombay, Surat is our home turf, and here is where we hit all the 4s and 6s. So thank you so much for the love and support that Surat has shown us from so many years. We hope to carry this forward. So I'll just take a few moments of your precious time and just brief you on the objective and the vision we have from ICA as a company, as a brand. So innovate, elevate, and sustain are the three pillars of the company that we have built today. So ICA is a global leader in wood coating finishes, and we are here in India from the last 30 years. And 10 years, not 10, I think 9 years we have been with Pidilite, and Pidilite has played a pivotal role in the growth of this company. So I think we always have a motive to have innovative approach, and polyester is our tailblazer wood coating finish. Water-based is something that we are revolutionizing as a product, and obviously the products that we have already launched in the market, we always hope to elevate it to a next level. I'll just give you a brief on the finishes that we have launched recently. So the new finishes, so we are revolutionizing the matte finishes in the industry. So finishes like S-matte, which is a completely dead matte finish, gives you a rubbery soft touch and something that would look really nice because it is highly anti-glare and there are no fingerprints that are there in this product. So then we have launched a product called Protecto, which is basically it's a high build product equivalent to PU, and it's got an extreme scratch resistant surface. So I would just carry forward with my talk. I think so, yeah, so these two products have been very, very innovative in the industry right now, since matte is something that we have always worked towards. Apart from that, we have the new age water-based finishes. Water-based is something I think Surat market is very well aware of, because I think in India, I think Surat has taken a level up in terms of water-based. But we have also launched the water-based color finishes. So apart from the clear finishes that we have in water-based and the Creativa range, which is your satin metal and antique metal, we have also launched the color. So we have 2,500 shades that goes on with your colors in water-based. So we hope that you have had a chance to see of the product. If not, please go to the ICA booth and you'll be able to see this new finishes and products. And I think we'll hand over the mic to the next presenter. Thank you so much.
Next in line of our partnering brand is a young dynamic company offering architectural hardware solutions through a wide range of standard and customized products. May we please have the AV? Further dwell in the evening, we are delighted to introduce to you all our guest of honor of this edition, here with us to share his vision and experience in this field. A lifetime member of Institution of Values and past chairman of IIA Surat Center, he is one of the oldest architects and one of the founding team members of SECT University Surat. In his incredible journey of 51 years in the field of architecture and design, he has built over more than 150 theaters, 250 high-rise and low-rise buildings, more than 100 row house societies, and designed some of the most iconic structures in the early developing years of the city of Surat. Ladies and gentlemen, with great pride, I'd like to invite on stage our guest of honor for this edition, Architect Parikshit Talati, Principal Architect, Parikshit Architect, and past chapter chairman, IIA Gujarat Center.
હું કંઈ કહું તે પહેલાં એક વાત કહેવા માગું છું અને તમારા બધાની માફી માગવા માગું છું કે અત્યારે જે પ્રિન્સિપલ આર્કિટેક્ટ લખ્યું બરાબર, પણ સાથે સાથે જે આઈઆઈએ ચેપ્ટર ચેરમેન લખ્યું છે તેમાં મારે ડિટેલ આપતી વખતે પાસ્ટ લખવાનું રહી ગયું છે અને જેને કારણે કેટલાક લોકો એવું ન સમજે કે હું અત્યારે ચેપ્ટર ચેરમેન છું. અત્યારે ચેપ્ટર ચેરમેન છે મૌખિક અને વાઇસ ચેરમેન છે રાકેશ કાબરિયા, ચેપ્ટર ચેરમેન ગુજરાતના. આજે આપણને બધાને મળવાનો મોકો આપ્યો છે આર્કિટેક્ટ્સ એન્ડ ઇન્ટિરિયર્સ ઇન્ડિયા, અને આપણે આ બધા ભેગા થયા તો બરાબર છે, ગમ્યું, સુંદર. આજે એની 40મી એડિશન છે અને દેટ ઇઝ સ્પેશિયલી ફોર સુરત. માટે આપણે સુરતીઓ એના માટે ગૌરવ લેવા જેની વાત છે. તો હું તમને સૌને વિનંતી કરું છું કે એક મેગઝીન માટે અને એના આયોજકો માટે એક તાળીઓના ગડગડાટથી આપણે એમને વધાવી લીધો. પાછું સોને પે સુગાહા જેવું એવું રાખ્યું છે કે આજે સરસ મજાનું ડિસ્કશન રાખ્યું છે અને એ ડિસ્કશન છે ડિઝાઇન ડિબેટ, સસ્ટેનેબિલિટી એન્ડ પ્રોફિટેબિલિટી. મને એવું લાગે છે કે આ બેને બેલેન્સ કઈ રીતે કરવું અને કઈ રીતે કરી શકાશે એનો આધાર તો આપણા આ બધા વેલ લર્નેડ અને વેલ એક્સપિરિયન્સ્ડ જે ડિબેટમાં પાર્ટનરશિપ લેવાના છે અને એમાં જે એ લોકો આપણને એના વિશે કંઈક કહેશે, સમજાવશે, આપણે સાંભળીશું, એ બધા પેનલિસ્ટને આપણે વધાવી લઈએ એવું મારું માનવું છે. આપ સર્વે મને અહીંયા બોલાવ્યો, મારું આટલું બહુમાન કર્યું અને મને સાંભળ્યો, તે માટે હું આપ સૌનો આભાર માનું છું. થેન્ક યુ.
Thank you so much, sir, for making time for this evening. We are delighted and grateful to have you here. And now, to felicitate our guest of honor, I'd like to invite on stage Mr. Karan Rai, Vice President, Sales and Services from ICA, and along with him, Mr. Indrajit Sauji, Group Publishing Director from ITP Media India. Can we have another round of applause for our guest of honor, please? As we move forward to our next segment, it is now time to introduce to you all our next partnering brand, that is a leading supplier of high-quality window, door, and facade systems made from aluminium, PVCU, and steel. May we please have the AV? I would now like to invite Mr. Jitendra Kshatriya from Shuko, India to kindly come on stage and present further about their highly efficient door, windows and facade systems.
Let me introduce myself first. I am Jitendra Kshatriya from Shuko, India, and take care of entire Gujarat. So I will introduce my teammate, Mr. Parth Joshi, and Mr. Prakash Senapati is also present here in my booth. Before we dive into the presentations, I would like to take a moment to express my heartfelt thanks to entire ITP team organizing committee for their dedication and hard work putting into this event together. It is really honor to be here, and I also would like to extend my gratitude to all architect interiors for being present here. Your presence is really appreciated, and let's start sessions together. So Shuko is basically a German organization, and we are into the aluminum window, door, facade, and sliders. So presentation cannot start without this slide. This is one of the calendar projects that we completed in Surat, and I hope everyone has seen this building. It's a Montesa Rajans. So this facade is designed by Shuko and installed by our great partner facade, Mr. Pawan Iyengar from Surat. So I kept my presentations very small and precise because I always honor the time. So there are only 3 slides: who we are, what we do, and our proficiencies. So after that, the presentation is completed. So who we are: Shuko is basically a German aluminum solutions provided for facade, door, sliders, and fenestration industries. We have been in India since over 15 years, and for global, we are present more than the 70 years. And our presence is across the 81 countries. Its presence whenever you want to work, we are with you. What we do, so we design sustainable products for facade, door, window, sliders. We provide the optimized solutions. So design is separate things, and giving the optimized solution is the best part that Shuko is always believe in. It's our DNA. And we supply the high quality aluminum profiles, hardware, accessories. And we also support our partners for fabrication, installation training, and the clients by doing the installations audit. So our proficiencies, that facade system that can take up to the 1-ton load. So only one panel can take a 1-ton load. So you can design whatever you want. Sliding system that can go up to the 4.5 meter height with 500 kg shutter weight. Slim system with face width of only 19 mm and tailor-made solutions for the special requirement for special clients. So my presentation is completed about the Shuko. I just would like to explain one case study, which is just important for you, how we are here. So first of all, we proudly say we design, we build, and des banao. So the case study about the S Villa, the EV is running right now. Just before I came here, there is the one EV for one residential project, private residence. So I'm going to present the same case study, what we did the unique for this project. So it is a customer's expectation that this 3D is said to us while we are into the designing stage. And when we came out from the project, we delivered this one. So this one is the actual photograph and it's a 3D. So some insights about the project. The project name is S Villa, architect is Semark, architect Samarth Maradia is full name. Fabricator facade from Surat. He worked in Ahmedabad, the project is in Ahmedabad, but the fabrication is happening in Surat. System AAC 60 HI. So when we are in discussions, so we always hear a lot of challenges. So these challenges is identified by the client, not from the Shuko. So these insights are given by the client that the shutter width and height is 2 meter by 3.2 meter. This is the one shutter width and height. Second, glass weight is around 430 kg. Shutter weight is around 453 kg, including the aluminum weight they are expecting. The glass thickness that they wanted to be in project is the 55.52, the thicker glass. And customer expectation, after all these specifications, they want a slider can operate with one fingertip, okay? So we had a lot of discussions about this weight and the one fingertip of condition. After a lot of brainstorming, we come out with this solution. The solution is AC80HI lift and slide system. And this is the actual photograph that we installed. So if you can see, this one shutter is around 2 meter by 3.2 meter. So I am just presenting this photo because this is as challenging for the client, where there is a corner like the wooden cladding is here, flooring with the fabrics, outside is the marble, inside there is a track. So putting all four together, we did this project. It's the outside, and this is the handle that we supplied. That's all about. Thank you.
And as we continue to introduce our esteemed partners for this edition, now I would like to shed light on one of the world's leading manufacturers of revolving doors, security access gates, and entrance solutions. May we please have the AV?
Bienvenue. Bienvenido. Welcome. Welcome to the first moment you enter. The first steps. For more than 140 years, we've ensured people feel welcome and secure. We are Boon Idam, your entry experts.
As we all know, Design Debate is a platform of knowledge sharing, bringing together leaders of architecture, design, and construction fields to involve in panel discussions and express their views and share their experiences over the years. And we are extremely grateful to our curator of this edition for his immense support and dedication in grouping up the most suitable set of industry experts to share their theories and ideologies over the theme of sustainability and profitability. Their combination skill as designer, entrepreneur, and teacher. He earned his degree in architecture and post-graduation in urban design from CEPT University, where he received multiple gold medals for his academic excellence. He also studied at the TU Delft in the Netherlands as a part of student exchange program. This had a significant impact on his mind about the acceptance of diverse cultures and out-of-the-box thought processes. His firm is based on the strong foundations of people first, planet first, and they prioritize sustainable practices in all their projects. With over 900 diverse projects in various geographies all over India, and winning more than 40 design excellence awards at regional, national, and international level, he has also been involved with an NGO called Oasis at Vadodara since 2008 as a facilitator. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a huge round of applause in welcoming our curator for this edition and also the moderator for the upcoming panel discussions, Architect Snehal Shah, Managing Director and Founder, Esteemed Design Services LLP. Sir, can we please have you on stage?
Good evening, friends. On behalf of ITB Media, I feel honored to be welcoming all of you today for the design debate. I hope that by the end of this session, you would go back with adequate food for thoughts and the direction for the future for your business. Sustainability versus profitability, finding the balance. The topic sounded very interesting, but I was not able to think clearly how to decipher and structure this topic. As a natural response, my mind started thinking about the sorry state of our planet and because of the mess of the construction industry and the other industries have created. Soon I reached a dead end, which would direct the teacher in me to start professing about the virtues of sustainable development and not focus on the short-term profitability. However, in the real world, in my profession, like many of you sitting here, I too face struggles to survive and grow the business, leading me to make some decisions that are not aligned to what I would be professing about sustainability. I feel we need to evolve our understanding to change the way we look at things, so I decided to take a break to figure this out. So last week, same time, I was in this small island in Maldives, specifically to prepare for today's event. It also happened to be my 25th wedding anniversary. In Maldives, there are about 164 such islands, resorts, located remotely and can be reached from Malé Airport only through seaplanes and speedboats. It was a lovely experience, and three things struck me. Number one, they managed to provide us all the luxuries like food, drinks, cosmetics, and whatnot from all over the world in such a remote place. Number two, there was high-speed internet all over the island. They had a fantastic app to manage things, and so much of technology to make things very convenient for us. And number three, they took great care of the environment through right and appropriate infrastructure design and policies, and thereby we could have some amazing experiences appreciating the beauties of the nature, like snorkeling was just a few steps below our water villa. It was expensive, but the resort was full. I found out to be a very profitable and achieved through preserving and marketing sustainability and with the help of technologies. So while looking at this island, my mind slipped into a deep thought. I realized that the entire world can become like this island. Economic liberalization has led to free movement of goods, people, idea, money all over the globe. The world is getting hyper-connected, and we live in a very transformational time. The information age and information technologies are changing everything. The way we work, the way we live, the way we play, and how we do business. The free flow of information has enabled us to connect across boundaries and culture, and that will eventually lead to a more open and liberal world. These changes are happening very, very fast, and we are right in the middle of it. Let's take case of iPhone. So iPhone was introduced in 2007. So this is iPhone 1, by the way, which had the same computing power as the guiding computer which put the man on the moon in 1967. The digital revolution speed is doubling up every year, and it's just beyond the human mind to comprehend where we would be in the next 10 years. People have even begun to predict when in near future the artificial intelligence will overtake human intelligence, and what that means, nobody knows. The future is coming towards us as an ever-increasing speed, and I think not even Apple or Google can predict the uncertainty of this future. Now, what does this great uncertainty do to our present? આ થોડુંક સમજવાની કોશિશ કરજો. It leads to fear. The globalization and rapidly developing technologies are increasing the competition for business, leading to mounting performance pressure. Everybody wants to perform, do it fast, જલ્દી કરવો છે, જલ્દી પ્રોજેક્ટ ડિલિવર કરવા છે. Everybody wants it now. So businesses get more concerned about, so the timelines are shortening. So business gets more concerned about surviving today rather than having a long-term vision for the future. Nobody has the time to build a long-term future. કારણ કે બધાને આજે માલ વેચવો છે, આજે સર્વિસ પ્રોવાઈડ કરવી છે. And then we have the environmentalists who are pointing out towards the scarcity, saying today we have limited set of resources and we have exponentially growing population. We have big problems. There is global warming, lack of food, lack of adequate clean water, and a zero-sum view of the world that we are using up all our Earth's resources until there is nothing left. This leads to a more short-term thinking of businesses, and people want to get to these resources before others do. જમીન ખલાસ થઈ જશે, માલ હું હમણાં વધારે નહીં બનાવીશ તો બીજો બનાવી લેશે, and everybody wants to do more and more and more, thinking, and that is out of fear. So then we don't trust businesses to do the right thing. They will always value short-term profits more than the long-term sustainability. So then the regulators come into the picture, who start regulating the businesses, which creates a further erosion of trust. This is a vicious cycle we find ourselves today in. So now the question is there a way to achieve long-term sustainable value with short-term profits? I am convinced there is a way, because these same exponential technologies can potentially lead us to an age of abundance. With technology, we shall soon get all the drinking water from the ocean, fulfill all our needs of energy through efficiently capturing sun and wind. Probably we use 3D printing to make manufacturing and construction less wasteful, and also find a green good alternative to fossil fuels. This might be sooner than you think, since we are developing so exponentially fast. So if you look into this uncertain future, you can either fear it or you can see it as a huge opportunity. Nobody knows what the future is going to be like, so why can't we shape it? So to explain this, I was trying to look for an example to put this point, but unfortunately, I couldn't find one in our industry or the construction industry, since we are still using almost the same technology of construction like our previous generations. But automobile industry offers many good examples. Let's take Reva. How many of you seen Reva? Wonderful. So Reva was born in the first EV design in India, made in India, and this was in 2001, but it didn't work. It was an ugly car. Almost like one has to choose between ultimate driving experience or being environmentally friendly car. But then came Elon Musk and the Mahindras. Why can't you have an ultimate driving experience of a cool car which is so good for the environment? So Tesla was a huge commercial hit, and Mahindra seemed to be following the track too with the latest car 9e, which they released this year. And this doesn't stop here. For them, it's a computer on wheels, and it will play a huge role in reducing pollution and street congestion in this world. Elon has been such a pioneer and passionate explorer in this industry, and what he did exemplifies how a business can be profitable and sustainable at the same time, and thereby magical. That brings me back to that island. As I left for home, my mind started getting clearer. We also need to start thinking like this island, where we were there last week, an island which is ready to become a lab of innovation for business, such that it becomes a sustainable island and yet attracts a new class of tourism, so that we can show the world that it is perfectly possible to save the planet and make some money. That's the point I wanted to make today. And so now let's get on to the business for which we've gathered today. And we will start the first session of the design debate of the next gen panel.
So yes, before we start the most awaited segment where architect Snehal Shah will be doing the moderating part, I request Mr. Ashish Kumar, Director of Boni Dam, and along with him Mr. Indrajit Sauji, Group Publishing Director from ITP Media India, to please come on stage and felicitate our talented curator for the Surat edition. Can we have a round of applause, please?
Considering the topic for today's design debate, we put together a panel which comprises of various stakeholders of the building industry instead of just designers. So today on the panel, we have young and dynamic representatives from the fields of real estate development, architecture, interior design, sustainability consultant, academician, and material manufacturer. They all are great achievers in their field. My request to you, all of you, the panelists, is to provide candid insights, keeping your work in the background so that audience gets to know about your personal journey and benefits from your experience. I would like to give a brief introduction of each one of them to establish the background and the context. So our first speaker is the principal architect of a solo practicing firm that was instituted in 2010. And later, two more partners joined to establish the Parekh Collaborative in 2014. The firm has delivered innumerable beautiful projects, be it architecture, interiors, and landscape. The designs are minimalistic and timeless in nature and spell out art, technology, and emotions. His experience in industry includes working across Indian cities like Bangalore, Mumbai, Burhanpur, and apart from Surat. The firm has won multiple national awards from IIA, ICA, amongst many others. Please put your heads together for architect Ankit Parekh. Next on the panel is a young and dynamic architect whose firm, Yellow Studios, specializes in sustainable and functional design. He is a gold medalist from MS University of Baroda and graduated in 2008. Besides running his firm, Azaz serves as assistant professor in Sarvajanik University, Surat. He has designed numerous successful projects in India and Tanzania, and for which he has won multiple national awards. His work beams a lot of class and innovation. I am very happy to welcome Azaz on the stage. Our next speaker is a qualified engineer with a degree in civil engineering and master's in environmental engineering. Later, he pursued his MBA in finance and international business from reputed universities in USA. He has a diverse work experience of more than 16 years in US and India in the field of environmental and design engineering, construction, real estate development, and venture capital. He has been involved in the family business of infrastructure construction, environmental services, and wastewater treatment, having projects pan-India, and now has ventured into real estate sector. He also has keen interest in venture capital business, and I'm so happy to welcome Dhaval on stage. Our next panelist is an architect with over 24 years of experience and specializes in designing spaces that are functional, aesthetically pleasing, environmentally sustainable, and aligned with the client's unique needs and vision. Their diverse portfolio of work is spread over national and international geographies and across the diverse sectors like residential, commercial, corporate, hospitality, villa, and diamond factories. His firm has won multiple international awards, and his diamond factory for Fine Star Diamond has led him to win many awards, including the USGBC LEED Gold Certificate in the year of 2023. Let's welcome Hiten with a round of applause. Our next speaker is a distinguished expert in sustainable building consultancy, having 7 years of experience in this field. After completing his bachelor's in architecture at SCET, his concern towards environment pulled him towards working in the field of green buildings and sustainable environments, and he landed up pursuing Masters in Sustainability at Canada. As the founder and CEO of Building Zero Consultants, he has successfully spearheaded numerous high-performance projects, achieving platinum-level certifications on almost all the 40-plus projects facilitated by him. Jian's extensive expertise encompasses energy modeling, carbon footprint analysis, and integrated design processes. Additionally, Jian serves as the Director of Sustainability and Community Engagement for Surat One Foundation, an urban forestation initiative based out of Surat, dedicated to enhancing green spaces and promoting environmental stewardship. Let's welcome Jian to the stage with a round of applause. And last but not the least, our next panelist is a seasoned sales and marketing professional with 2 decades of experience, primarily in the home improvement and decor space. In his initial 7 years of career, he introduced the industry's first color signature store for a renowned brand under paints and finishes that aimed at redefining the way consumers interact with color as part of their home designing journey. In his current role as well, he continues to redefine the boundaries of luxury home decor. Friends, let's have a round of applause for the wonderful panel. So just to explain you a little bit, the debate is organized into 4 rounds, sequenced to build up from the present understanding to the future directions. My humble request to all the panelists is to keep the response brief and to the point. That will help more participation and better understanding. So it might look like a boxing round, but it is not. We call it the round 1, understanding the conflict. You guys can help yourself with the mics. So there's a lot of fluff surrounding the word sustainability. So round 1 tries to find out the diverse understanding about the word sustainable. Also, we try to figure out why there seems to be an inherent conflict between sustainability and profitability from our esteemed panel. So to start with, this is a icebreaker. This is for everyone. In minimum words, I want each one of you to tell me what is sustainability for you.
Thank you for bringing us here. Anything which is built with sensitivity and creating value for this planet is what is sustainability is for me.
To Snehal Bhai, what I feel that we are from a design fraternity, so I had that perspective in mind. I feel a sensible designer who does very sensitive design is a sustainability for me. That's what I feel.
Thank you.
So I feel perpetual functionality without impacting the Mother Earth in a larger context, using the conservation of different resources, and at the same time serving the need the functionality part is what I feel is sustainability.
Yeah, I think for me it's growth with responsibility, selflessness, and a whole lot of respect.
So it is to be like all has to be satisfied, like conservation of the nature earth, Mother Earth, as what Dhaval said. And the best example is the bottled water is not sustainable. The tap well water is sustainable. So the live example is on front of us. So we have to keep maintaining that. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think he stole my answer, but I also wanted to say responsibility and overall life cycle impact. That is what I would say.
Right. So this is the fluffy part I was talking about. Everybody said very different things, and you all are right. Thank you so much. So starting with the first question, Dhaval, I'm looking at you. Why is there a perception that profitability and sustainability are conflicting goals in construction industry?
So there is an answer in your question itself, right? You said there is a perception of conflict. And that perception comes from the mindset, where one comes from. If somebody, and it goes again to the definition of profitability, which is relative and subjective for everyone. For me, profitability can be just in terms of monetary gains. How much I invest and how much I sell it for and how much I make. That can be profitability for me. But for someone who is looking at the long-term vision, for them, if they're looking at having a little bit lower profitable commercial impact, however, a long-term sustainable product that they provide to their customers, the customer is eventually going to keep coming back to you. And that for me, that for somebody else can be a definition of profitability. So again, it's just a perception. I don't believe there is any difference between profitability and sustainability. In fact, there is no profitability without sustainability.
Very interesting. Thank you, Dhaval. I go now to the designers. We start with Hiten.
So it is something
so the question to you is, why do we see lack of motivation amongst majority of the designers and architects in our context to promote sustainability and green buildings to their clients? Why is there a hesitation?
To it is sustenance. From what sustenance I mean is, in a commercial viability, when we do any project, we assume that this is the cost of land, this is the cost of construction. We assume so much of sales in so much of time and do the cost benefit analysis, and we launch the project. Like I said, the developers want to make a sustainable building, and eventually it comes, the philosophy is there. However, at the time of making the choice of selecting a sustainable material or certain reuse of wastewater by recycling it through the toilets, those decisions come at a later end of the project or a different stage of the project. And the pressure that you said, it comes when the market does not support you as a developer.
Right.
The sales that you expected does not turn up. So at that point of time, that is the pressure where the developer switches from the philosophy of going for a sustainable option to not a sustainable option. It can be termed not right. However, from a developer's perspective, we think we took that choice to survive, and that's where the sustenance comes. And we think that we just, live to fight another day.
Right. Thank you so much. Yes, please.
So it is about the pressure that we are talking, but so if given a choice as a designer, if say Gian or Snehal, I give you a choice that you are making a building of say 100 rupees a square feet, right? If you use say sustainable or green rating system to the same development, and what if we can give you a price of 150 rupees, 1050 rupees per square feet, or if we can achieve through our calculation that 950 rupees mein aapka wo ban jayega. So are you willing to buy and go to that extent ki you will go with all these calculations, you will add 3 or 4 additional services that is been integrated in the project. So are you willing to do that if the designer gives you that calculations?
It's a very fair pitch. Dhaval.
Yeah, I mean, to be very honest, I would be willing to, and I have a few developer friends, others here from Sangeeni. I mean, we all share the same philosophy. We want to do and add the cost to the project. That is not a problem. And I keep circling back to the problem that it has to be considered, you need to go to the life cycle cost analysis, right? If as a developer, I think that my product is a stock that I have to sell, I might not add the cost. However, if I consider that product that I'm developing as an asset, then the life cycle cost analysis comes into the picture, and feel any sustainability cost that you add onto it, the life of buildings are designed to the tune of 50 years. So any sustainability is viable in next 10 to 12 years maximum. Right. There is no such product available in the market where the ROI or the recovery cost is beyond 10 years. Yeah. So it is again about the mindset, and at the same time it is the acceptance of the customer who has to buy. The acceptance of the customer, we can sell them, we can educate them, we can make them aware that this thing is in your benefit in the long term. However, the price sensitivity of the Indian customer, that is, he will understand everything, he'll get educated. The next door, somebody who is not practicing the same values is selling them 50 rupees per square feet less, forget 950 rupees. Somebody is selling 50 rupees per square feet less, he's just going to stand up, say thank you for educating, but however I'm going to buy this guy's product. So like I said, it has to, the culture has to evolve amongst all the stakeholders, not just the developers.
Absolutely.
Of course, it starts from the designers, pushes through the developers, but it is the government who is going to push some mandatory specs, which has to be incorporated in a building design. Yes. Which end of the day, the customer will not have a choice to buy and then eventually realize that it was for his own good.
Yeah. That's a fantastic answer. So Azaz, I feel he took the bait but didn't bite it.
Yeah. Hence, I'm a developer.
Well done. So the next question is for all the designers. So as you know, now we have all the wonderful materials like marble, sanitary ware, furniture, windows. You saw a lot of them here available to choose from for our projects in our city. These are largely imported from very, very far countries. These products have very high carbon footprint, but very often we try to use these products in our projects. Why do we feel the need to propose these products in our projects when we know that there's a lot of inbuilt high carbon footprint? Honest answer.
When we look at this product, sometimes it is not only we are looking at expensive products. Sometimes we are also looking at bringing products from another country in terms of creating value to the client. So if we look at the perspective of not only raising the carbon footprint, but also creating the larger value and getting my client better product, it takes a different level, or takes my project to a different level, and then the satisfaction and the overall outcome. So in terms of economics, it works better. It is not only that we bring in for technology, it is not only we bring in for cheaper price, it is also creating better values. So that entire ecosystem of building a good project is also very crucial and critical to be looked upon. So carbon footprint, of course, yes, it is going to add, but then it also gives another opportunity to Indian manufacturers, Indian suppliers to raise their bar. And then now slowly with that all evolution of made in India and everything happening around, things have changed. Of course, like 5 વર્ષ પહેલા જેટલું બધું ઇમ્પોર્ટ કરતા હતા એના કરતાં હવે 50% જ કરીએ છીએ. But then 50% is changed now, and that happened because of the right competition. Right. So not only looking at carbon footprint, looking at another perspective is also very critical.
Yeah. Absolutely, it's a fair answer. Karan, what is your perspective on this, since you represent
The
company
manufacturer
from
side.
manufacturer from the other side?
Yeah, so I think why do we feel the need to push unsustainable, if I may call them, or let's say the ones, whatever, to our clients? There's a framework with which I think we operate. There is an awareness, there is sensitivity, and I think there are the means to deliver that. I think as a country, we've traversed that distance in the last decade or so from an awareness perspective. Everybody's talking, nobody would want to say that, if I say that, I've used 85,000 KL of water doing this, there's a way to save this. Nobody wants to, do the bad thing or the wrong thing. So there is awareness, but there is also sensitivity which is required. So I know that, let's say I want to drive a petrol car, and you gave that example, and I don't want to drive an EV because it probably just runs for 250. So there's the lack on sensitivity where I think opinion leaders sitting in this room have a big role to play. Where manufacturers come in are the means, which is the third leg. So let's say I come and say that, yes, there is a water-based, which I think you're a great proponent of. I think Surat has been doing well because of you, personally speaking. But I think that's a means that we are able to provide. But this gap of sensitivity is where the opinion leaders have a big, big role to play, is where I feel the gap is. So it's not really about us feeling the need to push to the consumers. I think it's us standing up to the role on sensitizing. I know I'm alone here, but I think we're doing a job in terms of providing the means. I think everybody's done their job in terms of awareness, but the sensitizing is something which only opinion leaders sitting in this room can do.
Sure. I can see a naughty grin as us.
Yeah, so I want to add to it that I had both the perspective. First is, वो guilt नहीं होना चाहिए. I feel, why not? The question is how much, right? If I'm doing 90% which is locally done, and if I feel कि for my design, to enhance my design, मुझे वहाँ पे अनिश कपूर का वो रखना है sculpture, I can just bring it. फिर भले वो जितना दूर से आ रहा है. Right, but wo jo value or experience I'm going to give to my client, to my customers, is that I'm ready to afford. So that is what I feel. कि कितना आप करना चाहते हो, that is one thing. Second thing to this is, ये guilt कहाँ से आ रहा है? क्योंकि हम में ये pressure है कि make in India products use करो. Fine. So I accepted. I was into heating system. बोले लोकल मटेरियल यूज़ करना है 400 किलोमीटर में से, नो प्रॉब्लम. सो वी वेंट 200 किलोमीटर फार, वी वेंट टू दिस लैमिनेट फैक्ट्रीज, और उसने बताया ये मेक इन इंडिया है, हम लोग IGBC ग्रीन प्रो मेंबर है, एंड वी आर सर्टिफिकेट है हमारे पास. आई वेरी गुड. वी वेंट टू द प्लांट. तो प्लांट किससे बना है? जर्मन मशीन से बना है. ओके. लैमिनेट बनाने के लिए 13 लीफ चाहिए, तो 13 लीफ कहाँ से आए? तो बोले स्पेन से आए. तो आपको सर्टिफिकेट कैसे मिला? तो उनको कौन गिल्ट फील कराएगा? या हमको मेक इन इंडिया बता रहे हैं, एंड वी आर सो
वेरी नाइस.
I feel there are wild things happening in this sustainable के लिए, but we have to be very sensible enough to do certain things. I feel I am very bold enough to take certain decisions, so that's why I'm very okay with that.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So Jian, I know you're itching to give back to him, especially for the Green Pro thing. But so the question to you is, as designers, we endeavor to serve our clients beyond the design brief to create a lot of values for the projects we design. Sustainability usually doesn't feature among the top items in the list. What is the reason?
I think more and more it does, to be honest. There are corporates today demanding in their contracts that if my building does not perform to what we are expecting out of it, your fees that you were supposed to get will be held off. I have seen these examples with Infosys and a lot of other corporates. So we are getting there. It's just that we are not demanding enough. Why are we not demanding this as consumers? It has to come.
Right.
Because right now, whatever silver, gold, platinum you say, consumer ने कहीं खबर ज नहीं कि भाई मारे शू expect करवानो. Instead, if we are saying that this is the amount of time you will be able to sit without light and prove them by simulation or whatever other means that are available, तो ये कर ही सके.
Right.
એક કાર લેવા જઈએ છે, કેટલી વસ્તુ આપે છે કેટલોગમાં, એટલા બધા ટેસ્ટ, પછી લઈએ જ ને આપણે, આટલું પૂછો.
Right. So you want to complete your, you want to give him back?
I mean, I've seen those kind of factories, to be honest, and this time when we went to the Congress, out of the 10,000 products that are being already certified, we made a request to them, open up these things that you know and we don't know. You got this experience by being on site and checking it out. And we said, you have information, put everything as transparent, so that, let's say you was choosing a paint, I see whatever companies, उसका क्या है कार्बन फुटप्रिंट. आज लेने जाते हैं न्यूट्रिशनल लेबल तो देखते हैं इसकी कितनी कैलोरी है, जो इतने कॉन्शियस है, बट once we start seeing that, people will start making better choices, for sure.
So Hitin, would you like to add something?
Something that one of the experience what happened in the African projects like we are doing in Africa, the client was asking to do a green project. So first of all, I was just wondering in Africa how we can do the green project, because there is no manufacturing facilities on the African regions, and there is all the materials came from the China and India and very long seas. So there is one incident happened to me, like we are ordering to, we are making one PB structures in Namibia, Windhoek, and we have to order the first order for the factory, and we went to the searching for the vendors in Johannesburg and Durban. So we find the finest project manufacturers in Durban, and we sent to the St. Petersburg over there, and we just asking to the company, okay, we want this PB structure in a with the green certification. So first of all, shocked, and I just sitting with the salespersons and the factory inspectors and everything. Suddenly the persons came from the on the first floor and just coming to me and just asking me, sir, are you really talking about the green building? Yes. Why it should be so shocking to you? Like after the 10 years, the first person came to me in the African regions, they want to be the green building. And he's a owner, the Max, he's a German guy, and the factories belong to German. And they still believing in the making of a green building, and they are always encouraging the green building to be made in the African regions as well. So it is something about to be learned. It is about to be the most understanding of why they are doing. It is also most important. My client is always understanding about try to do the minimize thing.
Right.
If you want to green building from the locally, the materials came from the China and India and other regions only. So we just all the materials to be bought from the India, because the local materials, the cost a single crew is 6 times higher than the Indian. So we went the 16 containers from India, and still we had done in half of the cost we have done for that factory, and we are also almost closing to the green building in that African region as well.
Right.
So that is the biggest last year experience what I have been found in the African regions. That is the biggest scope of works for the green building as well, and for the Indian market as well. Now the Indian market also is going to be established in the bigger revolutionary change in the African continent.
Right. Well, that's a very nice example you shared, Hitin. So as a teacher at Design Institute, what are the challenges or impediments you face in focusing on sustainability in the curriculum? For instance, lack of glamour, or maybe inadequacy of teaching resources. What are the kind of problems you think you face?
So when you say sustainable, can you kind of give me parameters?
So when I say sustainable, I always mean measurable.
Measurable, yes. So as I said earlier also, that measurement, measurable, or how do you track those data is still missing in this thing, right? But the moment we say that hamare housing, offices, whatever you do is sustainable banana, they go with this earthy materials and locally construction materials and everything. So they're taking it very literally in that sense, right? So we have to kind of make them revolve around there are different techniques, materials you can apply, and still it becomes more sustainable. But sustainable is not only about materials and other things. We are talking about light, ventilation, air. Without doing any materials also, you can have this cost ventilation, other thing. So it is not that difficult, but yes, we are still into it. We are trying hard. Yeah.
No, so could you identify the impediments or the limitations that આવું હોય તો આ વસ્તુ થઈ જાય, for example, something like that? Anything?
નહીં, કોર્સમાં મિસિંગ છે, that was the same.
Yeah.
I think I said earlier also that.
No, you don't want to put words in your mouth.
In the course design only it is missing.
Yeah.
Right. What I feel ki nobody taught us the civic sense. So that's why whole India is facing the civic issues. Like
Right.
nobody taught us driving, how to drive on a highway in the city. So એ શીખવાડ્યું નથી તો હું એવી રીતના બિહેવ પણ નથી કરવાનો. Right. So similarly, this all thing is also not designed in the course. So that's why we are not able to deliver. So we can't expect કે by student આવું કરશે.
Right. So thank you, Azaz, on that. Yeah, you want to add?
It is something not 100% responsible to academic as well, but only thing is the itself in our side. That's also a most important things. When you see the any illiterate or any labor persons searching with the mobile, and we don't have to teach them how to run the mobile. Now everybody is very easy to that because they are interested to run the mobiles and the complex application they are doing. Something like that, client has to be also be encouraged the insight. The insight has to be more towards the balance, towards the how we balance the environmental,
right,
and how they can benefit. Only one-to-one offer, एक पे एक मिल रहा है तो definitely they can be more motivated. So it is something that cumulative efforts for all of us. Like only architects can literate is not that possible. Client, even the community has to be equally literate to be for the balance to the sustainable. That is also
right. Thank you so much. So friends, this brings us to the end of second round. We move to the third round now. So the third round is titled Sustainability and Experiencing Benefits. Now let's try to dwell in an area where actually we have seen benefits of sustainability. I'm pretty sure at different levels you all guys must have had it. So buildings are just brick and mortar without its users. That is us. Sustainable way of thinking would manifest in every aspect of our life, be it our lifestyle, health, or the built environments we create for us. Let's hear from the expert panelists how they've reaped benefits out of sustainable ways. Okay? So the first question is a very, very general question. I would like Jian to start, but if anyone wants to add something, please feel free. So Jian, from your personal experience, can you share the benefits of living a healthy lifestyle and role of sustainable thought process in it? Is that profitable?
I'll just share one case study with you. It's about one diamond factory. I'm not going to take the name. We measured just the air quality in the space. CO2 levels in the space were around 2500. Outside air is 400. So it's 6 times worse indoors, and they are working there. And I showed this to the client, said this is what it is. And he's like, "Su farak pada janati." And I told them, your employees working 30% less efficiency ma chalse tamne?
Yeah.
And then he's like, "No, I can't, because that's where my money is coming from." So that was the change which was made, and those are the benefits which were seen. And when we talked with the people, did you feel a difference today? And they said that they're able to work more time in a better way. And one more thing, the same client, he said that he went to Vegas, and he said that in the trade shows that they are there, he's hardly, sleeping there, maybe 4 hours, 5 hours, but he feels so fresh. And he's like, I can't understand why this happens in Vegas. And he's researched about it after he found this factory, that they pump in so much fresh air that it feels like he was on the Himalayas. So imagine they realize this, they want you to go out of your room and spend, and that's where the profitability is.
Right.
So, yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yeah.
So I'll explain a different way. Looking at things, like we look at things, we do things, the way of being, the way of our being uh, if we go 10, 20 years back, we just go to our grandmother, we just go to them, and we just have to study their timeline. What were their timelines? मतलब क्यारे उठता था ना क्यारे उठता था, yeah, and they used to start day very way early, like अपने 9-10 वागे कदाच ऑफिस जवानो विचार करे छे, and they is almost done by their day's work by 7:30 or 8. They are done with their day's work. So that understanding and way of being, okay, so we have started lacking that, and then adding with mobiles and other issues like this Netflix and other thing happening at late at the night, it's taking next level. Like the seasons also moved by 2 months kind of thing. So if we look at this as a larger picture, then just to experience that and bringing that experience into your way of life, we have to go back and look at the way of being was earlier and finding that nodes, bringing back to the life and evolving accordingly.
Right.
Would definitely change the perspective of experiencing anything. Like AQI ne બધું તો છે જ યાર, બહુ બધું complications છે. Why you want to make it complicated much more than that? We always keep on saying is કે આપણે earth ને આમ નથી પહોંચાવું, આપણે આ નથી કરવું, પેલું નથી કરવું. અરે just we need to go back to ourselves and see to it our way of being is not casual anymore. Our way of being is much more sensitive towards everything and anything, and things would definitely change. I would say rather saving earth, save yourself, because that would change.
Right.
I think every energy has to monitor in the building, like by using of building management or the system what you are ordering or installing. That is also most important. As Jian said, as there are much more CO2 in the closed environment, using of the right chillers, right fresh air, design integrations, even the water management, electrical management, all thing is to be designed more efficiently. Then after it gives to the more profitable to the.
So the question is about you having benefited from your own healthy lifestyle. We are not talking about MEP right now. So my question is that whenever you experience something nice, it stays with you, right? So what Ankit was trying to say, I am kind of trying to relate to it. કે જે આપણી સાથે સારું હોય ને, સારી health habits હોય. For example, if you're going for a walk every day in the morning, you'll feel good about it. So those are the kind of, because see, we are not talking about buildings. It is about us, like he said, right? So anyone else? Anybody having healthy lifestyle?
So when we were doing this project called Liberty, and the client was also initially was working in this closed environment of their office in Varacha, and then later on they got a plot and we were trying to build, and they were expecting that we will do kind of a glass box for them, and we're going to wrap around the building, and we kind of make them realize and understand ki, no, we are going to do a building where you can open a window for yourself, and then we introduce double height north light reception to them. So they kind of agreed to that. Then we introduced a kind of a large balcony next to the main director's room. And then the whole design space was done. And after, when they took over the building, their energy had moved on. They are looking so much positive in the designs. And honestly speaking, coming to those buildings, the similar group had offered me 4 new projects and said कि हमने पण आउज बनाऊ छे. We also want this kind of, I can open up my window, because most of these people take these offices and they cannot open the window. And we had also, promised them that you will get a natural light into you. કે 5 વર્ષની તમને light ચાલુ કરવાની જરૂર નહીં પડે. And somehow we had kind of does that, and we are looking at amazing results from the client.
Very nice. Dhaval can relate to it, I guess.
Yes.
Okay. So the next question is for Jian. How have the clients benefited out of using green building projects in real estate projects or personal projects like homes or places of work?
I just gave one example, but I'll give you another example with a developer from Bombay. They're developing 2 towers, 55 and 60 floors. They're probably on 7th or 8th floor right now. 65% of the project is sold. And they did take a lot of time in designing and integrating everything possible. And because of that and the choices that they made, they were able to communicate better that this is something that we are delivering. To give you an example, for skyscrapers in Bombay, the requirement is that Hurricane 1 આવે ને, A level માં, તો survive થવું જોઈએ building. They went for Hurricane 2. So they put in more climate resiliency features, which people appreciated. And that's why it's being occupied faster than any other project in the same vicinity.
Wonderful.
So that's something.
Dhaval, you wanted to say something?
So I just wanted to ask, were they selling at the same rates to the nearby buildings, or were they absorbing that cost and offering it as a service? Because see, that's what we think, that as a developer, if we want to push sustainability, and which we do, at certain times, and even in our building, there are so many things that we have incorporated, which not a lot of buildings or developers are even used to thinking about it. And we have taken a call as a developer કે ₹5 ઓછા કમાઈશું, ચાલશે, પણ આ કંઈક નવું કરીએ. આપણે આવતા 50 વર્ષની બિલ્ડિંગ બનાવીએ છીએ, તો એક સ્ટેપ લઈએ, આપણને જોઈને બીજા 5 લોકો સ્ટેપ લેશે. But my question still remains, are those guys, by incorporating a Cat 2 hurricane, of course their structural costs went up and stuff, did they absorb the cost, or they are selling it at a higher cost?
They are charging premium, and they're able to get that in that market.
And that's Bombay.
And even with a lot of estate companies that I've talked to, you'll be surprised to hear this perspective. I went to their office. એક મોટી wall છે entrance માં. You ask for any bloody certification કે મને આ જોઈએ છે. મેં પૂછ્યું કેમ આટલા બધા? આખી wall ભરીને? So it's like, we don't want the client to go away. I said, okay, fine, but everyone is adding up a cost to the overall process. I said, we don't mind. This was someone, Colliers or JLL type of company doing it. And their motive was what, you know? There are companies who have taken net zero targets, and they don't make their own offices. So they're like, જેણે net zero building બનાવી ને એ prove કરી આપે છે કે છે હું ત્યાં office લઈશ, ભલે આના મને વધારે આપવા પડે. So that is what I think should come in Surat, which I have not seen. Because
it will. We are progressing towards there. The main problem I feel is Surat lacks the corporate touch. Yeah. And a lot of large companies and MNCs, to be specific, who are even publicly traded in the US or UK markets, they have this ESG liability and commitments towards their investors. Correct. And that is also one of the reasons that such companies who are eventually a buyer or a tenant for a project in Bombay, they will ask for it.
Yeah.
However, there is nobody who is asking for such things to me in Surat. I have to educate them and then sell them at a premium, which doesn't happen. So there are a few of us who are today willing to absorb that cost. Yeah. And I hope, it's my very sincere hope that others will follow the suit as well.
Right. So Karan, would you like to share any personal example of how you've been benefited by sustainable way of living?
Personal example?
Yeah.
No, so I do make it a point to connect with nature as often as I can, and I think it's well documented in terms of the health benefits that it has. So I am a dog lover, so since you asked for a personal example, so I am a dog lover, and I make it a point to spend time with my dog in the garden as much as I can, and there are days and weeks where I'm not able to do that, and there's a personal difference that I see that happens. So there's a lot that we need to rely on the magical powers of sunlight, on the magical powers of walking bare feet on grass. And I think since we are talking about design, I think we've spoken enough about integrating a lot of that. But that's been my personal experience, and I would love to be, if my office had something like that, I would just be basking in the sun all the time.
Right. So that was the purpose of this particular section, where we start recognizing the benefits that we are getting because of knowingly or unknowingly, we are doing so many sustainable things, right things, but we don't recognize them often. So that was the objective. And now we move to the business end, for which we are all gathered today, building the win-win ecosystem. That's our responsibility and the role why we are all sitting here. So starting with Dhaval, Jian, you can also take this question. What is the role of policies and incentives in driving both profitability and sustainability in construction industry? What are the present incentives in the policy, and what changes would you recommend or wish to make them better?
So it's a two-part answer. Like green buildings, there are a lot of benefits that are there in the market. However, there is no standardization in the benefits across the states. Certain states give additional FARs, 5%, 10%, the likes of Punjab and Andhra Pradesh, if I'm not wrong, they give additional 5 to 10% FARs if it is a pre-certified green building. In Gujarat, there is a subsidy on green building consultants' fee capped at 2.5 lakhs. So the parity between the subsidy or the benefit is not there. However, I personally believe that is not the reason that people don't adopt to it. The main reason I still feel that the adoption to the sustainable buildings in terms of residential and commercial consumption is limited because of the lack of mandatory rules. If you take it in a perspective of a consumer of a residential building who is an owner of an industry, in his industry, he is mandated by the law to make sure that he cannot have a single drop of water going out of his factory. So he will install crores of zero liquid discharge plant and he will recycle every drop of water, which eventually he understands that in a life cycle cost analysis in 7 to 8 years, he is reaping the benefit of it, the ROI is there. However, the same person, when he comes back to his residential apartment, where the developer has even given a sewage treatment plant in the basement, however, owing to the lack of sensitivity, like everybody has mentioned, the society does not operate the STP because it probably adds 50 paisa per square foot of maintenance every month.
Right.
The reason, it is the same person, right? It's not, I mean, there is no need for teaching or educating. He's already an educated person. He's already a user of that sustainable approach in one direction in the morning, and he's not doing the same thing in the evening. The reason is because he's not mandated by law to do that.
Right.
So I still feel the law and the policies and the government danda. I mean, we are Indians, right? Aparne jugaad avde chhe.
Right.
We find a way everywhere we can. So, yeah.
Jian?
So I think there was some misinformation about the incentive available. I think 3 months back, government came up with a new incentive, and that was, I think, a better model than the previous one. Pehla discount aapta hata tamne purchasable FSI ni upar, which was 5%, and that was flat. Now what they are doing is that they've kept it tiered. So based on the level of certification you achieve, and that's 8, 10 and 12% of your purchasable FSI. And if you ask me, in today's time with Jantri rates going almost double or something, that's a handsome amount that you have, which is in certain cases that we've looked at, I think it was around 3 to 4 crore rupees which was being saved. And if that amount is something you can put into project and see if it is an escalated cost for you, then that is also being taken care of. On the other side, it's also fees of so many consultants if you save that amount. And that's white money again. That's another topic. So one incentive, I like this incentive for Gujarat over extra FAR is because you're defeating the purpose. Why to build extra and then say कि मैं sustainable कर रही हूँ? You're building extra and you're saying कि नहीं. So there are different ways, and I understand the markets where extra FSI આપવાથી, FIR આપવાથી adoption fast થયું છે. But there are other type of incentives, like let's say direct going to the consumer, like કોઈ residential society બનાવી છે. So a individual flat owner ને home loan પર શું benefit છે? અગર એ અહીંયા તમારી premise માં આવી રહ્યું છે. So there is SIDBI who is giving 0.05% or 0.1% discount on that. So that's a property tax as well, which municipal government can control. So there are so many nudges that can come across, which will make everyone feel valued. હમણાં એવું થતું નથી. So that is something which is needed, and I think push from each sector and stakeholder will help doing it. And I think also beyond economic side of it, social side implementation નું પણ બહુ જરૂર છે. Because quality is of concern. I'm very much concerned about the life of our buildings. It's not lasting more than 50 years, or even 50 years થઈ જાય તો બી બહુ સારી વાત છે. There are so many buildings which have gone in my lifetime. And that's not good, that's not sustainable.
Right.
So we also need to take care of that.
Right, thank you. So Hitin, how far can we go with the present construction technologies considering the high level of manpower efficiencies and resource wastages? When do you think we can start looking at more sustainable methods for building, like energy and water efficient design, modular construction, 3D printing, renewable materials that are more sustainable? આ કેટલું દૂર છે આપણે એનાથી અત્યારે, according to you?
So I'm just having one experience in Dubai. Dubai the first they make the building 3D printing. When I saw that building, I really amazed at how they designed and how they build. It is so neat and clean, and environmental friendly materials they had used. So I think something like any cost, again one is a matter. Everything is what depend on the cost. Just like Jian said, the cost end user, either a client, if it's bearable, then definitely they can encourage to be easily adaptations are there. Using of again AI technologies and some softwares we are having for the better designing of energies and other things. So definitely it can be more helpful for the client as well, and for the architect as well to build the things.
Right. So talking about the AI, so for Ankit and Azaz, looking at how AI is disrupting our traditional design consultancy practice, we are already feeling concerned, if not threatened. In our practice, what kind of shifts are necessary with respect to technologies and software tools to contribute towards building the future which is more responsible and efficient? How do we prepare for this?
I feel it's not a threat, right? It is like the tool that you're using, like we had manual drafting, we had AutoCAD, and you have Revit. So it's a tool, and we are using this tool since last 1 year, and it is helping us to design faster and creating more alternatives and becoming more kind of options, choosing okay, this is what we can go about, and then taking that as a support. Okay, we can't rely on that, and then we kind of re-evaluate certain things, and then reconfigure certain design, and then we use that AI as a tool. So still that ecosystem is not here in India, or nobody is aware about it, how far we can go with the AI in terms of, is it only about making 3Ds or making about drawings, but we are still unknown about what different things that AI can do for us as an architecture practice. So there are 4-5 tools that we use in our office. I think that's it, but still this ecosystem need to build across the countries, across the cities, so we take hands on that, and then we can kind of make it more efficient. So yeah, I feel so it's not a threat that way.
Okay, thank you. Ankit?
So definitely I also do agree with Azaz that we don't see AI as a threat. If we use it effectively, like we have been using a couple of similar tools in terms of generating spaces, in terms of optimizing the layout, in terms of calculations to the FAR based things. Earlier, these scenarios were very difficult for us also. Being a designer, we used to call ourselves, हम तो design architect हैं, हम licensing नहीं करते. Our stake is we design only, we don't fall into that trap of getting it clear and everything. So bringing that tool of optimizing the space and getting that numbers right for the developer removes that barrier of being only a designer architect and not thinking of the regulations as well. So that is one context of using an AI, and we are trying to use that, and definitely we are on it. The next perspective of a threat being, of AI being a threat for our projects or for our consultancy thing, we are recently designing a hotel, and then we are supposed to design a plaza. And that plaza is to accommodate certain marriage functions and make it more experiential kind of thing. So those kind of experiential thing are only going to happen in your designer mind.
Right.
Not in the mind, or not by computing. So imagining a plaza in Italy and that scale of 30 meters by 30 meters with that proportionate arcade, and then you have that alley around it, and then you play, somebody playing guitar, somebody playing with flow fountains, and that imaginative tool of yours, which you being an observant, that AI of course cannot bring it up. There won't be any threat ever. But that imaginative tool is with us.
Right, absolutely.
So you have to tell him, boss, there has to be prepared an arcade, then there has to be a service area, and then there has to be a swimming pool, and then also it should have certain proportions and height. So now what happens is, now you're guiding your AI, you're scripting your AI,
right,
and then you're trying to generate those images and spaces, and then what you're doing is, see, now it comes to the style. Your client wants to do something in Gothic architecture, let's do it. Right. Your client wants to do it in classical, neoclassical, let's do it. Your client wants to do it contemporary, let's do it. So looking at that perspective of brainstorming like hell, client would never dare to ask you, boss, option चाहिए, ये ले tool. बैठ जा बाजू में मेरे staff कर देगा, मेरी भी जरूरत नहीं. Because now he is not looking at architecture as habitable spaces, he is looking at something which is trending, something which is fashionable, something which is always, this is going to be there. Everybody has their own fantasies. Like any client building up a home or building up an office or building up anything would have their natural fantasies into it. Somebody would want biophilic, somebody would want something most trendiest things.
Right.
So we are facilitators and we are open to it, no problem.
Thank you so much.
That's the biggest, like what we can say in architecture, the visualization comes from the brain and from mind, and how to be represent on a paper. The AI is always helpful to us.
So unfortunately, the entire focus went to the first part of my question. Nobody heard the second part, which was about how do you make changes within your office to prepare to produce more energy efficient buildings, etc. So I think it was not so much about the threat. Of course, it's a very nice tool, but I see a lot of changes rapidly going to happen in our office. Your working drawings are going to be AI generated. There's so many things are going, but in the end, what remains is your discretion about what is right for environment, what is not, and there's so many things. But I feel a need that we'll have to learn a lot of tools to be really able to understand what's going on with the performance. So that is what actually I was trying to drive at.
Yeah, I'll just want to say something about it. Being an Indian architect makes a lot of difference. If you had been practicing, and you and me had been practicing, maybe in America, maybe in Europe, or whatever the place could be, imagine what would be our perspective and what would be our scope of work, Snell bhai. A very different perspective. We are born, we have taken up that skill, and we have been doing so much of jugaad that MEP wala kya karne wala hai na, that we are going to decide. If HVAC wala kaise karega na, that we are going to decide.
Right.
And then we move into heads to heads, and then look at those efficiencies, look at aesthetics, look at value addition, and make it cost effective.
Okay. Thank you, Ankit. So the buzzer is indication for me, I guess, to end this session. So there's a last one, last question for this session. It's for Azaz, and maybe Karan if you want to add to it. So Azaz, how does academia foster collaboration amongst engineers, architects, interior designers, environmentalists, and business professionals to develop sustainable, profitable construction models? How do you look at this? How can academia foster collaboration? Right now, we're used to living in a silo. as a designer. So, but academia has a role there, I feel, to foster collaborations between the various stakeholders like engineers, interior designers, environmentalists, and business professionals. Only then we will be able to create sustainable, profitable construction models. So what are your views? How can we do that?
I feel it will be very impactful if we do this kind of collaborations, and if we understand that with whom we need to collaborate and with all different stake members we are going to collaborate. And we are into this processes of doing different collaborations with consultants, and we make point to the client also that we are going to have this integrated services. So as a I look when this collaboration come in picture, and I always look doctor in my mind. Okay, our surgeon but or our doctor but the doctor himself doesn't do everything, right? There are different supports that he take. Ke bhai anesthesia walo alag che, surgeon kappa walo alag che, પછી dressing કરવાનો alag che. So there are all different things that he does, but still the patient has a trust on this one doctor only, right? So we need to be that doctor, right? Where bhale we have all the services and all the consultants on board, but client is actually trusting us, right? As Ankit said, we are also understanding that MEP wala kya karne wala hai. So we have to be that sensible and experienced that way. What is going to happen across the building, across the project. Right. We can't just rely on things that consultant will do certain things, that AI will do certain things. We can't do that. And I think at this age of experience, client is expecting more valuable answers. આપણે કહીએ ને કે સર્જન બહુ મોટા છે કેમ કે 500 સર્જરી કરી છે, રાઈટ? તો કેટલો એક્સપિરિયન્સ, કેટલો અનુભવ છે, અને અનુભવ એકલાથી નહીં આવશે, right? If he has some expertise, I'm definitely right to collaborate. And so one is a doctor, which I always look into it. Second is I look A.R. Rahman for this collaboration, because he himself cannot generate such an amazing music. He need different kind of instrument players, something like that. So since last 4 years in our practice also, we have tried to incorporate more number of integrations in the project, and we are giving a service to developers where we'll be answerable to everything. So we are trying to build a confidence in us, thanks to where I did my practice. And so that confidence we are going to give to our client also, that okay, fine, ye aap pelo surgeon bani shake.
Right. Kind of. Thank you so much, Azaz. Karan, your last words.
Yeah, no, so I'll just go back to the, because I think I made this point earlier, but it fits in well now, is when I was talking about this framework of awareness, sensitivity, and means. I think everybody has a role to play. I think when I was taking the example of, let's say, the water-based luxury finishes that we came out with, this came up in 91, but because it takes so much more time, I think we need more catalysts in the industry, which is the role that people here play. We will definitely come up with the means, and more responsibly so, because let's take an example of electric vehicles. We say that this is something which is more towards environment friendly, but look at the energy that's getting created, which is not clean energy. I mean, it's a dichotomy. You're burning coal, you're creating energy, and then you're charging your cars and saying, yeah, I'm sustainable. So I think that's a responsibility on the manufacturer's end. So everybody has a role to play. But yes, the melting point or the melting pot for the end consumer would be likes of designers and architects, where I think it has to integrate, and you will probably need to play the role of the aggregator, is what I really feel.
Thank you so much. And to my entire panel, I think it was a pleasure to listening to your wonderful views, not so articulated at times, but that's perfectly fine. That's the beauty of being candid. And I'm sure we all are taking something home, something to think about. So let's have a big round of applause for them.
To you, sir, for hosting and moderating such a fun, entertaining and thought-provoking session. We look forward to another one now. So before we jump on to the next session, I'd like to invite on stage Mr. Vijay Gathia from Ozone, and along with him Mr. Ashish Kumar, Director of Buni Dam, to please come on stage and felicitate our panelists. Can we have a round of applause? Thank you so much, and we now move forward to our last and final session, the Doyens panel discussion.
This was a little long, I realized. So in the next one, I'll try to cut down on the questions, and you can be more mindful about how long you want to answer. So let's make a deal that way. But I think it was a fantastic session, and I came to know a lot of things about so many of you, and thank you for your candid presentation. So after such an engrossing deliberations on this interesting topic, now it's time to up the game. It's time to hear from the solvers of the field of construction from our city. These are the people who in their own ways have made tremendous contribution to the cause of building business and profession through their intense involvements in real estate business, professional practice, and academics. Technically, they do not need any introduction, but I feel it's my privilege to say a few words about them. High value, high quality, and timely delivery. A special mention about the corporate office of Sangini Group, which is an architectural marvel and a green building. Let's put our hands together to welcome Mr. Adarsh Patel on the stage. Our next speaker is a passionate about designing projects that harmonize with the surroundings, creating spaces that evolve and offer fresh experiences. Having completed his high school education in Surat, he embarked on a 5-year architecture course at the Institute of Environmental Design, Pallav Vidyanagar in 1983. And his guiding principle has always been, no task is too small and every job deserves the best effort. From my college days, I have been following his work and has always found them to be very well resolved and aesthetically pleasing to the eyes. His firm has gifted Surat city with some good civic projects like the Smimer Medical Hospital, the new Mayor's Bungalow, and the City Command and Control Center, amongst others. He has worked on a lot of amazing residential and commercial projects for developers in Surat, and I'm very glad to welcome architect Ajit Jariwala on the stage, and I'm sure there are so many in the audience who are eager to hear him. Ajit bhai. Next in line is a distinguished academician heading Sarvajanik College of Engineering and Technology, Faculty of Architecture as principal since 2009. He has his unique distinction of being the only architect to serve as a principal of engineering college with 10 disciplines, having a student strength of 4,000 engineering undergraduates. He is also the director of Sarvajanik School of Interior Design, and now Professor Percy Engineer is the immediate past first provost, that is a vice chancellor equivalent for a private university of the Sarvajanik University. He has a huge list of awards and recognitions to his name, and I would need another 30 minutes at least to read them all out to you. However, having taught for so many years at the Department of Architecture SCET, my first-hand experience of him is that he is a wonderful leader, great administrator, and most importantly, a very caring human being. He has a great love for living with nature, and in spite of so many hats that he wears in multiple institutes, he ensures that he remains in touch with nature and has a very healthy lifestyle. I am so happy and proud to welcome Professor Percy Engineer on the stage. The next speaker on the panel is a real estate developer and a green crusader. He is a co-founder of the real estate company by the name The Building Company, and is presently serving as the chairperson of Indian Green Building Council, Surat chapter. A full-time philosopher, he is super active on social media with his small talks on health, wealth, and happiness. And you can guess by the number of followers he has on his Instagram accounts. His punchline is, Samjha. While he is also into beer, coffee, perfume, farming, and property leasing, his companies keep churning out real estate projects which benchmark green buildings in real estate sector for our city of Surat. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Neeraj Viradia, may I request you to take your seat on the stage. Our last speaker for the panel is a super experienced interior designer, a technocrat, a science enthusiast, urban planner, government approved valuer, chess champion, project management consultant, and whatnot. Sanjay Bhai founded his firm Image and Shape about 30 years back, and since then, his constant endeavor has been to deliver projects with seamless integration of architecture, interiors, and an aesthetic polymath. His large body of work spread across diverse typologies like commercial interiors, retails, educational, hospitality, multi-unit residential, traffic islands, and private residential projects. May we have a loud applause as we request Mr. Sanjay Punjabi on the stage. So the rules are going to be the same, the flow is going to be the same, but probably the answers are going to be very different because with the gray hair, they carry a lot of experiences and wisdom, and we would love to have that spilling over on me and on the audience. So we straight away start with the round one, understanding the conflict. Like we did last time for ice breaking. In very few words, can you tell me what is sustainability for you?
To me, sustainability is minimum input and get maximum output, considering end user in the center.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
For me, to devotions and the ethics of our motherland, to respect that. Beautiful. That is the sustainability.
Beautiful.
In very simple words, sustainability means something that continues functioning, delivering services without creating further negative impacts and without being scarce, without having shortcomings in delivering its services. That is sustainability.
Beautiful.
For me, saving the environment.
Saving the environment, okay.
I put it up this way. For a smaller firm, that profitability itself is a sustainability, and for a world resources, sustainability itself is a profitability for a future generation.
Very nicely put. Very nicely put. Right, so here we are.
Just certificate, silver, gold, or no, you know that. And nowadays, we are by default making silver rated kind of buildings. If you don't do certification, it is it is silver certified. So we have to decide for whom we are making, and if I tell you about my company, we are making green buildings for ourselves. हमने बहुत शौक से बनावानो એટલે બનાવેલું, but nobody knows about it. We have to convince people sometimes કે ભાઈ આ beneficial છે. So અને recent પ્રોજેક્ટમાં અમે લોકોએ બહુ ક્રિસ્પ કેલ્ક્યુલેશન કરેલું, એમાં એટલું ખબર પડી કે થોડાક પૈસા બચે છે જો આપણને ગવર્મેન્ટના પેલા 5% મળી જાય FSIના તો સેવિંગ થાય છે. તો ઇટ ઇઝ નોટ એક્સપેન્સિવ. પણ એફર્ટ્સ એ છે કે થોડી માથાકૂટ કરવી પડે છે, બધો રેકોર્ડ રાખો, કન્સલ્ટન્ટને બધું એટલા માટે ઘણા ડેવલપર એમ કે આ બધું કોણ કરે, છોડો ને યાર. દેટ ધ રીઝન.
સી જેમ એમણે કીધું તેમ યુઝ્યુઅલી સિલ્વર તો ઇઝીલી બધા કરે જ છે, બિકોઝ પ્રિન્સિપલી ડિઝાઇન સાહેબ જેવા ડિઝાઇનર મારા ગુરુ છે, તો એમની ડિઝાઇન ઇટસેલ્ફ તમે લાઇટ વેન્ટિલેશન ઉપર એટલું બધું ફોકસ્ડ હોય, મિનિમમ એનર્જી યુઝ થાય એની ઉપર એટલું બધું ફોકસ એટલે હોય જ. પણ હવે જ્યારે તમે વિચાર કરો, આપણે એમ કહીએ કે ભાઈ ગ્રીન બિલ્ડિંગ સર્ટિફિકેશન, તો સર્ટિફિકેશનમાં શું થાય છે કે મારા પોતાના ઓફિસ બિલ્ડિંગની વાત કરું તો ગોદરેજને અમે ગ્રીન બિલ્ડિંગ સર્ટિફિકેશન તરીકે અપોઇન્ટ કર્યા. બિંગ અ રિયલ એસ્ટેટ ડેવલપર, અમારું એક જ હતું કે પ્લેટિનમ મળે તો લેવું, અધરવાઇઝ નથી કરવું. એની માટે અલ્ટિમેટલી એવું આવ્યું કે મારે રૂફ પર સોલાર પેનલ્સ મૂકવી પડે એવી હતી. શેડિંગ આવતું હતું બાજુના જ બિલ્ડિંગનું, એટલે એ વખતે પેનલ સપ્લાયરે એવું કીધું કે ભાઈ તમને આ ફાઇનાન્શિયલ વાયેબલ થવાનું નથી. હું કીધું હતું કેમ કે ડે 1 પર બહુ ક્લિયર હતા કે જો વાયેબિલિટી આપણને એવું બેનિફિટ મળતો હોય તો કરવું છે, પછી લેવા પૂરતું નથી કરવું, રાઈટ. સો આ વસ્તુ એવી છે કે તમે હવે મારે પ્લેટિનમ લેવું હોત, ગામને બતાવવું હોત કે ભાઈ હું પ્લેટિનમ રેટેડ બિલ્ડિંગ બનાવ્યું, પણ મને ખબર છે કે પૈસા મેં નાખ્યા વર્થ નથી, એટલે કેમ કે પૈસા પણ રિસોર્સ છે, એ બી સમજીને વાપરવા જોઈએ, રાઈટ? એટલે હવે સૌથી મોટો સવાલ એ આવે કે જો સસ્ટેનેબિલિટી આઈજીબીસી કે જેવી એજન્સીઝ છે એને ફોરવર્ડ આવી રીતે આગળ આપણે વધારવું હોય સાથે રહીને, તો કેમ નહીં આવા મટીરિયલ્સ જે છે ત્યાં એવો ક્લોઝ આવે કે તમારી માર્કેટ વેલ્યુ વધારે ના આવવી જોઈએ? કેમ વધારે થઈ છે? સસ્ટેનેબલ પ્રોડક્ટ કેમ મોંઘી છે? કેમ એનું એવી રીતે ડિઝાઇનિંગ નથી થતું કે ઇક્વલ રેટે મળે? જો એવું હોય તો કોઈ ડેવલપરને વાપરવાનો પ્રશ્ન જ નથી ઊભો થતો, રાઈટ? એટલે ઓબ્વિયસલી તમે પ્લેટિનમ રેટેડ કે એવા હાયર રેટેડ લેવા જાઓ તો એ કોસ્ટલી થવાનું છે, જેનું અમને અહીંયા માર્કેટ અત્યારે દેખાતું નથી. હું તમને કહું કે ભાઈ હું પ્લેટિનમ રેટેડ બિલ્ડિંગ બનાવું છું સ્નેહલભાઈ, 4% પ્રોફિટ આપી રિટર્ન આપીશ, તમારામાં કેટલું ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ કરશો? કોઈ નહીં કરે, પૂરું થઈ જશે. ઇન્ફ્લેશન જ 8% છે, કોણ 4% રિટર્નમાં માનવાનું છે? અને બીજો એક કોન્ટેક્સ કે આપણે મુંબઈને કોન્ટેક્સ લઈએ છીએ. કોન્ટેક્સ ખરેખર રીતે લોકલ લેવા જોઈએ. મુંબઈમાં પ્રોફિટ 5,000નો છે, કન્સ્ટ્રક્શન કોસ્ટ 3,000ની છે, એમાં 100 રૂપિયા વધારે નાખવા ડેવલપરને ફરક નથી પડતો. મારો પ્રોફિટ 500 રૂપિયા છે, હું 100 રૂપિયા વધારે કન્સ્ટ્રક્શન કોસ્ટ કેવી રીતે નાખી શકીશ? આ બી એક છે. થેન્ક યુ.
Thank you, Adersbhai. It was a great opening. And I think Adersbhai is pointing towards the designers now. Ajitbhai, why do we see lack of motivation amongst the majority of designers and architects to promote sustainability and green building to their clients? What are the reasons?
For newcomers?
No. Everyone. In general, all the designers, they are not so keen or motivated to promote sustainability or green building to their clients.
મારા મત મુજબ છે ને થોડીક અવેરનેસ જ નથી આર્કિટેક્ટ્સની. સુપરફિશિયલ નોલેજ લઈને સસ્ટેનેબિલિટીનો ધંધો રોકવો એ કંઈ બહુ ઠીક નથી, રાઈટ? તો થરોલી નોલેજ હોવું જોઈએ, તો એ કોન્ફિડન્સ જ અંદરથી બિલ્ડ નહીં થાય. તો વેન એવર ધ ક્લાયન્ટ કમ્સ એને એટલી અવેરનેસ આપી નહીં શકે, ને ફ્રોમ હાર્ટ વિધિન ઇનસાઇડ જો તમે ડિલિવર કરો તમારા થોટ્સ, તો જ એ અંદર એના સામે ઉતરે. ગમે એટલી આપણે મહેનત કરીએ સુપરફિશિયલ બુક્સ નોલેજથી જો તમે એને કન્વિન્સ કરવા કોશિશ કરશો તો નહીં થશે. એટલે ફર્સ્ટ ઓફ ઓલ તો એ પોતે એટલો નોલેજેબલ છે તે બહુ જરૂરી છે. થરોલી ટ્રુ સસ્ટેનેબિલિટી, સુપરફિશિયલ સસ્ટેનેબિલિટી માટે રોજ પેલું પોપઅપ થાય ને તે રીતે રોજ જ બધા નીકળી આવે છે, એ સપ્લાયર્સથી લઈને આર્કિટેક્ટ્સ, ડિઝાઇનર્સ, બધા મીડિયા પર તમને લોટ્સ ઓફ મળશે કે આઈ ડુ ધીસ ધેટ, બટ ઇટ્સ ઓલ હિપોક્રેસી. હું એવું માનું છું કે જો તમારા થોડાક જે કઈ લોકો છે એને ટ્રુલી સસ્ટેનેબિલિટી માટે ફોકસ કરે તો સારી વસ્તુ છે. બીજું થોડું બજેટરી પ્રોબ્લેમ હોય છે એટલે એ લોકો થોડો તરત ડિલિવર કરવાની અથવા તો એક્સપ્લેન કરવાની થોડી હિંમત નહીં કરે બીજા આર્કિટેક્ટ્સ, અને થોડું ફિયર પણ હોય કે ઇન કેસ મારા ક્લાયન્ટ ચાલ્યા જશે, એનું બજેટ જ આટલું છે, અને એ થરોલી એને ખ્યાલ નહીં હોય. અને થર્ડ પોઈન્ટ જે મોસ્ટ એફિશિયન્ટ છે ટાઈમ ડિલિવરી. સસ્ટેનેબિલિટી માટે તમારે ઓરિએન્ટેશન્સ, એનું લોકલ કોન્ટેક્સ, અવેલેબલ મટીરિયલ, ટાઈમ ડિલિવરી અને એને કેવી રીતે ડિલિવર કરશે ડિઝાઇન, તે બી બહુ અગત્યનું છે. અધરવાઇઝ શું થાય કે હાફ હાર્ટેડ મૂકી દે અને પાછળથી એટલા કેઓસ થાય, એ ફિયર એને હોય જ, એટલે એ થોડોક અભાવ રહી જ જાય.
Very nice. Right? So nicely framed and structured. Thank you.
So I have a different...
Sanjay bhai, you can...
Yeah. So basically, it's something like that કે કોઈને મ્યુઝિક આવડે છે અને સારેગામા નથી આવડતું, તો એ પોસિબલ જ નથી. સો ડિઝાઇનર all over the world are basically a sustainable designer. What we are talking about that if we take that the total volume of the building construction and total malpractices or unsensitive work has been done, which is probably come to 0.000 some percentage. Majority of the projects are sustainable and majority of the designers are at the core level, they are sustainable.
So, Neeraj bhai, coming to you, for developers, customers, or Ajit bhai, for designers, clients, how difficult is it to sell sustainability as a big value? Since you've been struggling or you've been pioneering, is that probably the right word, with Monarch and the other projects, so probably you can answer it.
Based on my experience, લોકોને ખબર જ નથી કે ગ્રીન બિલ્ડિંગ શું છે. મેં આઈજીબીસીમાં અત્યારે કીધું છે, હમણાં રિસેન્ટલી 2-3 વખત સજેશન આપ્યા કે આઈજીબીસીનું બ્રાન્ડિંગ થવું જોઈએ. ઓકે, કે ભાઈ સર્ટિફાઈડ એઝ ઓફ નાઉ અત્યારે તમે બહાર જુઓ તો જેન એક્સ એન્ડ જેન વાય, જેન ઝી ઇઝ કમિંગ. ઓકે, એ હવે નવા બાયરો એ આવશે. હું કીધું એ લોકો ખરીદવા લાયક થાય ને તો એ પહેલાં બ્રાન્ડિંગ કરી નાખો તો એ લોકોને મજા આવશે. કારણ કે બ્રાન્ડ હશે, પીપલ ડોન્ટ નો. હું મેં 2014માં બનાવેલું, 11 વર્ષ પહેલાં. ત્યારે ઇનિશિયલ પેલો બહુ મને ઉત્સાહ હતો, એટલે જે બી આવે એટલે આપણે પેલું સમજાવવાનું ચાલુ કરીએ. પછી મને ખબર કે કોઈને ખબર નથી પડતી. પછી હું પૂછું કે તમને ગ્રીન બિલ્ડિંગ ખબર છે? લોકો ના, પાસ. ડાયરેક્ટ ભાવ પર આવો ને આપણે, નથી ખબર પડતી. એટલે એ અવેરનેસ જરૂરી છે ને. આઈજીબીસીમાં અત્યારે જે પેનલ છે ને એ બધા એકદમ સિનિયર લોકો છે. દે ડોન્ટ અન્ડરસ્ટેન્ડ કે બ્રાન્ડિંગની વેલ્યુ શું છે. સો એ પ્રમોટ કરવું જોઈએ કે તો લોકોને ખબર પડશે કે આ ટાઈપના પણ બિલ્ડિંગ હોય છે. અત્યારે મારા બિલ્ડિંગમાં સ્ટીલ 10 વર્ષથી લાગેલું છે, કોઈએ નોટિસ નથી કર્યું. એટલે ધીસ ઇઝ ધ થિંગ. અને અત્યારે આપણે છે ને, આપણે જે ફિલ્ડમાં હોઈએ ને એમાં આપણને એમ હોય કે આટલી વસ્તુ તો બધાને ખબર જ હોય ને સમટાઈમ, પણ નથી એવું.
So this coming from the chairperson of IGBC Surat is really heartbreaking to hear. But since you have experienced it, I think it's true.
અને બીજો પ્રોબ્લેમ એ છે કે પેલા જે 5% મળવાના છે મારા નથી આવ્યા. એટલે હું કોઈ FSIમાં 5% ડિસ્કાઉન્ટ મળવાનું છે, મારા પૈસા નથી આવ્યા. હવે હું કોઈ ડેવલપર પાસે જાઉં એને કન્વિન્સ કરવા એઝ અ ચેરપર્સન ઓફ આઈજીબીસી કે ભાઈ તું આપણે બનાવે, તો પેલો કે તમારા આવ્યા પછી હું કે મારા નથી આવ્યા પણ આવશે. આઈ હોપ અમદાવાદમાં ચાલુ થઈ ગયું છે, બટ વી આર લાઈક સ્ટ્રગલિંગ.
Right. Yeah, so Sanjay wants to add something.
It is other way around that market has to be seen. Why can't we think about ધીરજ સન્સ એવું વિચારે કે આઈસ ટી પીવાવાળાનું માર્કેટ થશે and I'll bring the iced tea. And ધીરજ સન્સ એવું વિચારે let me give a Surti a taste of iced tea. So that is a second approach that we all need to go for that.
Right. Okay.
એક મિનિટ સ્નેહ, એવું વિચારી શકાય કે આ માર્કેટિંગ કેમ નથી થયું એ પણ વિચારાય ને. આપણે ફક્ત એમ જ કહીએ કે અવેરનેસ નથી, પણ કેમ નથી તે રિવર્સ પણ વિચારો ને તમે કે આ માર્કેટિંગ કેમ નથી જનરેટ થયું. છેલ્લા 10 વર્ષથી સ્નેહલ કેટલી કોશિશ કરે છે પણ કેમ જનરેટ નથી થયું? વોટ ઇઝ ધ રીઝન? એ વિચાર્યું છે થોડુંક?
I'm the one who asked question today. I don't answer.
No, I can tell you this. Yes. See, when you talk about sustainability, you talk about the negative impacts, right? But sustainability na je problems છે ને, it has not created that fear amongst the people. Right. For example, એક વાસ્તુ કન્સલ્ટન્ટ પરીક્ષિત અગ્રી કરશે, પાસે જઈએ તો કે તમે નોર્થ તરફ કોટી કરશો તો આવું થઈ જશે, ને સાઉથ તરફ ખાશો તો આવું થઈ જશે, ને આમ બાજુ માથું. There is so much of fear psychosis created at an individual level. And therefore he will spend money, he'll go to a Vastu consultant and make sure that his house is Vastu compliant, right?
Right.
But when you talk about sustainability thing, it is not affecting an individual, it is affecting a mass, it is affecting a community.
Right.
એટલે કહે છે કે મેં થોડું આખા લોકોનો માથો જવાબદારી લીધી છે, મને એકલાને થોડો ફરક પડે છે. So unless this awareness goes to individual, right, that fear goes to individual, that what is going to impact the mass, it starts with you as an individual.
Right.
And a realization આવશે તો 100% awareness automatically આવી જશે.
Right. But I hope that's not a marketing strategy for IGBC going forth. We don't want to threaten people.
I'm trying hard, but
એટલે હવે તમારે બી એવું કંઈ સાયન્સ વાસ્તુની જેમ ઊભું કરવું
હું
પડશે.
એ જ કહેતો હતો કે આને રિલિજિયસ પોઈન્ટ ઓફ વ્યૂ કંઈ અંદર
સારું
પેનેટ્રેટ કરી દઈએ તો એ ફિયર સખત થાય.
So yeah, you want to add something?
ફ્રોમ ડેવલપર્સ પર્સપેક્ટિવ, કસ્ટમરને અગર મારે કન્વિન્સ કરવા હોય ને તો હું એને કહું છું કે તમે આટલું પ્રીમિયમ આંકો, બરાબર? એ ક્યારે રેડી થશે? જે ઇકોનોમિક સેન્સ બનતી હશે તો. ઇકોનોમિક સેન્સ એટલે કે હું 100 રૂપિયા નાખું છું એડિશનલી, એ મને 6 વર્ષમાં રિટર્ન મળે છે તો. હું એમ કહું 10મે 12 વર્ષે મળશે તો કોઈ સેવા કરવા આવવાનું નથી. આ બહુ ક્લિયર છે. આપણે 5 સ્ટાર એસી પણ છે ને 3 સ્ટાર છે, બેઉ વેચાય છે, બધા જ જાણે છે, બરાબર છે? કોઈ ઓફિસમાં 5 સ્ટાર મૂકે જ છે, કેમ કે ત્યાં એની ઇકોનોમિક વાયબિલિટી બેસે જ. ઘરમાં હું 2 કલાક 3 કલાક એસી વાપરવાનો છું, મને ખબર છે ત્યાં એટલા રૂપિયા નાખવાનો પોઈન્ટ નથી.
So it all boils down to the commercial aspects.
ઇન્ડિયન માઇન્ડસેટ છે ને વ્યાજ પર હોય, કેટલા ટકા છૂટે છે ત્યાંથી સમજાવવું પડે.
રાઈટ.
ઇન્ફ્લેશન કરતા તો
એક વસ્તુ છે વાસ્તુ હોય છે ને
જીયાને કહ્યું ને માઇલેજ કેટલું આપે that is it's a wonderful word mileage
कितना
કેટલું
देती
આપે
है कितना देती
even when
है
even when we went to the space આપણે એને માઇલેજ થી જ કમ્પેરિઝન કર્યું
સ્નેહલ એક વસ્તુ છે વાસ્તુ કોમ્પ્લાયન્સ હોય છે ને તો બાયસ 200 રૂપિયા વધારે 500 રૂપિયા વધારે આપી જાય છે તો એ જ રીતે સસ્ટેનેબિલિટી જો આવી જાય તો બાયસ આપશે જ એ મારી શ્યોરિટી છે એમાં કોઈ
That's a fantastic insight.
અને દરથી લોકો કામ કરે છે આપણે કોરોનામાં જોઈ લીધું છે
Yes, absolutely.
દંડો એવો હોવો જોઈએ ઇનવિઝિબલ દંડો હોવો જોઈએ તો જ એના ફંડા ચોક્કસ થાય આ દેશમાં
એટલે કદાચ પાછું પ્લેગ જેવું કે લાવવું પડે
No, I think that strategy of creating fear can be considered but cannot be concluded today. It's too risky to do that. But coming to Sanjay Bhai is designing sustainably a compromise to our creativity as designers. Do you think so?
No, I don't think so. That basically what I said is that that music જ્યારે આપણે કોઈ બનાવતું હોય તો સૂરને ભૂલી જાય તે નહીં ચાલે. So any designer sustainability ને બેઝમાં રાખે છે. It is a subtle form. It cannot be a marketed form. So maybe for IGBC or for other form or maybe for a real estate projects, it could be a marketing, but for a designer it is a lifestyle. It can be imbibed into a creativity very well.
So the next question is for Ajit Bhai and Neeraj Bhai. I want Neeraj Bhai to answer first. So Neeraj Bhai, you've been actually a proponent of that, of green buildings. So what is the primary purpose of green building certification? Do you genuinely think it makes sense or it is a greenwash?
ઓનેસ્ટલી કહું વટ મારવા વટ પાડવા કે ભાઈ મારું ગ્રીન બિલ્ડિંગ મેં બનાવ્યું છે દેટ ઇઝ એકચ્યુઅલી પ્રાઇમરી સેકન્ડ આટલી મહેનત કરી જ છે તો થોડાક પૈસા આપીને સર્ટિફિકેશન કરાવી લઈએ દેટ ઇઝ સેકન્ડ થર્ડ કે જે અમારામાં લાઈક વી આર ફાર્મર્સ એટલે આપણને થોડુંક એન્વાયરમેન્ટ લવર્સ તો છીએ જ એટલે આટલું બધું કર્યું જ છે તો પછી થોડુંક જસ ખાટી જઈએ કે ભાઈ હવે સર્ટિફિકેશન પણ કરાવ્યું છે અને પેલું કે આપણે કે ભાઈ ક્યાંક કામ લાગશે આ સર્ટિફિકેશન આમ જોવા જઈએ તો કારણ કે જે મહેનત કરી છે તો કરી જ છે ક્યાંક લઈ લઈએ તો કશે કામ લાગે ધીસ ઇઝ માય ઓનેસ્ટ આન્સર
Very nicely answered.
લાઈક જીયાન સેડ વન ઓફ ધ ઓફિસ એની એક વોલ છે ત્યાં દુનિયાનું કોઈ સર્ટિફિકેટ લગાવવાનું બાકી નહોતું એવો કાયદો હતો કે સર્ટિફિકેટ લગાવી જ નહીં શકાય એને કોઈને કહી જ નહીં શકાય તો એક ફર્મ કરાવતે That is the question that you had to answer. See, you were talking about the importance of certification because it is a marketing policy, it's a marketing advantage. But if there was a rule કે તમે દાન આપો પણ કોઈને ખબર નહીં પડવી જોઈએ તો સાચું બોલો અહીંયા બેઠેલા જેટલા લોકો પાસે ગ્રીન સર્ટિફિકેટ છે કેટલા લોકોએ લીધું હતે That's also a question as an academician because when I was sitting over there બધા બોલતા હતા કંઈ શીખવ્યો નહીં એટલે મને તો તું કે મને જ સવાલ કરે છે હું હવે મારે સવાલ કરવાનો છે
Very nice. Ajit Bhai, what is your take on this?
એ સર્ટિફિકેટ્સ હોવું જ જોઈએ લેવું જોઈએ એથિકલી લેવું જોઈએ ચોક્કસ જ એઝ અ ડિઝાઇનર હું ફોર્સ બી કરું છું કે જો ગ્રીન તમે સર્ટિફિકેટ લો તો સારું મોસ્ટ ઓફ એમાં એવું છે કે ફ્યુચરિસ્ટિક જ્યારે એને રિયલાઇઝ થાય કે ના આ સર્ટિફિકેટ્સથી મારું બિલ્ડિંગ સર્વાઈવ છે આજે બી તો એ એક આનંદની વાત છે પોતાની અંદરના એથિક્સને પણ જીવતો રાખવો જોઈએ અને તમે ગમે ત્યાં એન્વાયરમેન્ટમાંથી પાસ થાઓ ત્યારે એ ફીલ થવું જોઈએ કે આ મારા સર્ટિફિકેશનના ફોર્સથી આજે આ સ્ટેન્ડ આઉટ છે એઝ ઇટ ઇઝ
There should be an endorsement of certificate which gives you less guilt. What Aizaz said.
So, with your permission, I would like to share my experience or my journey about this certification thing. The biggest advantage which I found was, as designers, we are too much tilted towards aesthetics. અને આખો જે પરફોર્મન્સનો પાર્ટ છે ને એક્ઝિસ્ટ કરે છે અને આપણે જે બિલ્ડિંગ બનાવીએ છીએ એનો બહુ મોટો સ્ટેક આ બિલ્ડિંગ એન્વાયરમેન્ટમાં છે સો ધ પ્રોસેસ ઓફ ગોઈંગ સ્ટેપ બાય સ્ટેપ ઇન્ટુ સર્ટિફિકેશન એકચ્યુઅલી એજ્યુકેટેડ મી એન્ડ દેટ ઇઝ વેર આઈ થોટ કે આ બહુ સુંદર ટૂલ છે અને ઇફ ડન વિથ ધ રાઇટ સ્પિરિટ આઈ થિંક ઇટ્સ અ ગ્રેટ ટીચર all the certification is the minimum level they say it's not the achievement
ચેકલિસ્ટ જેવું છે ડિઝાઇનિંગમાં ચેકલિસ્ટ થઈ જાય તો
પેલા મેરેથોન જેવું છેલ્લે પેલું નહીં મળતું હોય તો કોઈ દોડવા જ નહીં જાય
yes so this is what my learning is because I thought everybody was bashing Jian for the green certification, but it has some value, and I feel I stand by it. Right. So we go to the next round, where we focus on the profitability, looking through the short-term lens. So Adarsh bhai, again, back to you. What are the immediate financial advantages of still using the traditional construction methods compared to the more sustainable ones?
See, again, back to economic viability. પહેલા કોઈ આરએમસી બહુ રેર યુઝ કરતા હતા. અત્યારે 90% ડેવલપર આરએમસી યુઝ કરે. કેમ? લેબર ચેલેન્જ, લેબર કોસ્ટ વધી ગઈ. સો અગર આવો આ ઇક્વિલિબ્રિયમ કહેવાય. ઇક્વિલિબ્રિયમ સ્ટેજ જેવો આવે ત્યાં એની અડોપ્શન થવા માંડશે. ઇકોનોમિક વાયબિલિટી બેસે તો અડોપ્શન થવા માંડશે. હેવિંગ સેડ દેટ, એવું નથી કે સસ્ટેનેબલ બનાવીને હાયર પ્રોફિટ લેવો છે. સેમ પ્રોફિટ રાખવો છે. ઇકોનોમિક વાયબિલિટી બેસવી જોઈએ.
So even construction cranes પહેલા નહોતી યુઝ થતી ના.
એક્ઝેક્ટલી સેમ રીઝન કે લેબર કોસ્ટ.
યા નીરજભાઈ, you have anything to
આઈ
add?
થિંક એવો કોઈ મેજર ડિફરન્સ નથી હવે. આ તો પેલું કેવું છે કે ભાઈ જે માઇનોર ડિટેલ છે, ફોર એક્ઝામ્પલ તમે એર કન્ડિશન કયું મૂકો છો એ થોડીક કોસ્ટ કે ભાઈ 5 સ્ટાર સેન્ટ્રલી એસી બિલ્ડિંગ હોય તો એમાં થોડુંક કોસ્ટ થોડી વધે છે, પણ એ એટલી બધી બી નથી કે પેલું પ્રોજેક્ટ ફેલ થઈ જાય.
ના ના, ટ્રેમેન્ડસ વધી જાય, એટલીસ્ટ 20% વધી જાય. જો તમારે ટ્રુલી સસ્ટેનેબલ બનાવવું હોય આપણે કોસ્ટ ઇનિશિયલ કોસ્ટ વધી જ જાય, એટલે પ્રોફિટેબલી બિલ્ડર્સ પોઈન્ટ ઓફ વ્યૂ તો ન દેખાય. ઇન્ડિવિજ્યુઅલ બંગલોઝ હોય, ઇન્ડિવિજ્યુઅલ ઇન્સ્ટિટ્યુશન્સ હોય તો એ શ્યોર એ એડપ્ટ કરશે કે વોટ એવર ધ કોસ્ટ મે બી, પણ લોંગ ટર્મ મને આ પ્રોફિટ છે. તો એ શેર બજાર જેવું છે, આપણે સારી કંપનીમાં ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ માટે મૂકી રાખીશું કે ભલે ગમે ત્યારે અત્યારે છે પણ લોંગ ટર્મ મને આપવાનું છે. તો એ કેવા બધા ટાટાના બિરલાના શેર ફટાફટ ઉપડી જશે, રાઈટ?
પણ આપણે જે બિલ્ડિંગ્સ બનાવીએ, જે સેગમેન્ટ માટે બનાવીએ, એમાં બહુ મેટર નથી કરતું, કારણ કે એમાં માર્જિન થોડું વધારે હોય જ છે.
બોમ્બે જેવી સિટી માટે નહીં, પણ સુરત જેવી સિટી માટે કીધું હતું કે 50 રૂપિયાના ફેરથી પણ આમ તેમ ચાલ્યા જાય છે. ધેટ્સ ટ્રુ. બહુ જ અઘરું છે. અને બિલ્ડર્સને તમારી જે બેકગ્રાઉન્ડ છે તે અને નવા જે ઇન્વેસ્ટરો બિલ્ડર બન્યા છે ને એ બે વચ્ચે બહુ ફરક છે.
So we come back to the designers again. So Sanjay bhai, as you know, we have all the wonderful materials I talked about earlier also, the Italian marbles and the furniture and windows. We saw stucco today. Nothing against stucco. I've installed it in my house, I can say that. So all these products are now available, which travel very long distance to come here, and thereby there is a big carbon footprint getting involved, making them kind of not green. So why do we still feel that we need to use these products for our projects?
I think Aizaz has given a wonderful answer, how much. So that if you are using that very fraction of material for adding on that value addition or aesthetic, then you are liable for that, or you can do that for considering the overall cost. So that how much question very well answered by Aizaz.
Right. Ajit bhai, you have anything to add?
ફોલ્સ એલિવેશન્સ ઓફ ફોલ્સ જેકેટિંગ એલિવેશન્સ, એને માટે જો આ બધી પ્રોડક્ટ આપણે વાપરતા હોઈએ તો એ બહુ ઠીક નથી. પણ પર્સનલી મારા બિલ્ડિંગ્સને તો હું બહુ જ ટ્રુલી રિસ્પેક્ટ કરું છું મટીરિયલ સાથે, અને જેટલા બી અવેલેબલ મટીરિયલ છે તેની જથી સસ્ટેનેબિલિટી કેવી રીતે લેવાય તેનું પૂરી ડિઝાઇનને વેલ્યુ કરીને મૂકું છું. એટલે હું એવું નથી માનતો કે ફોરેન કોલોબરેટેડ મટીરિયલ વાપરવાથી કે બિલ્ડિંગ સારા થઈ જાય કે સારા દેખાય. ઇટ્સ નોટ ધેર.
Okay. Absolutely. I think you have a very valid point. Yes, Adarsh bhai?
જસ્ટ આવું ક્યારે યુઝ કરવામાં આવે? જેમ કે અમે અમારા એર કન્ડિશનિંગ પરચેસ કરતા હોઈએ ફોર કસ્ટમર પ્રોજેક્ટ્સ માટે, રાઈટ? તો એક્સ બ્રાન્ડ છે જેનું મેન્યુફેક્ચરિંગ ફેસિલિટી ઇન્ડિયામાં છે, પહેલાં બહારથી ઇમ્પોર્ટ કરતા હતા. ઇમ્પોર્ટ કરતા હતા ત્યારે મશીનની લાઈફ ને ઇન્ડિયન મેન્યુફેક્ચર્ડ મશીનની લાઈફમાં આસમાન જમીનનો ફરક છે, બધાને ખબર પડી. તો બીઈંગ અ ડેવલપર અમે એવું જોતા હોય કે ભાઈ ચલો આ બ્રાન્ડ હવે ઇન્ડિયન મેન્યુફેક્ચરિંગ કરે છે, બહારથી જે લાવતી હોય એ પ્રોડક્ટ આપણે આપીએ, કેમ કે કસ્ટમરને એ લાંબો ટાઈમ સુધી એ પ્રોડક્ટ મેન્ટેનન્સ વગર સારી રીતે યુઝ કરી શકશે. સો એવી જ્યારે દેખાતું હોય ત્યારે જ એવું પ્રિફર કરતા હોઈએ. અદરવાઇઝ ખાલી બહારથી લાવવાનો કોઈ એવો કોઈને શોખ નથી.
No, but if as designers, if you get clients who said કે મને આવું જ જોઈએ છે ને સત્વારીઓ જ જોઈએ છે ને જેસી જ જોઈએ છે, then how do you go about it?
શ્યોર, થોડું કોમ્પ્રોમાઇઝ કરવું જ પડે. અને લિટરલી આપણા અનએથિકલ પ્રેક્ટિસ કરીએ છીએ ને એ ફીલ થાય, ગિલ્ટ થાય રિસર્ચ કે હું શું કરી રહ્યો છું. પણ અલ્ટિમેટલી મારે ફીસ લેવાની જ હોય એટલે આઈ હેવ ટુ સરેન્ડર. એમાં કોઈ હિપોક્રેસીની વાત જ નથી, બધાની ખબર છે. ખોટી વાત કરીને ખાલી સારા શબ્દોમાં કંઈક એને છુપાવવાની જરૂર નથી. આપણે કરવું જ પડે છે. અને જ્યાંથી આ પ્રિન્ટેસ્ટ અને બધું મીડિયા આવ્યું છે ને ત્યારથી એકદમ પથારી ફરી ગઈ છે. અને આ શ્યોર આ બધા કોલોબરેશનવાળા જે છે રાઈટ, આપણે એને ક્રિટિસાઇઝ નહીં કરવા જોઈએ, પણ એ મટીરિયલ વાપરવા માટે એટલો ફોર્સ કરે છે. એડવર્ટાઇઝથી ટીવી પર તમે ચાલુ કરશો તો એક અડધી એડવર્ટાઇઝ પ્લાયની આવે ને એ બધી, અને તે જ બધી ઇન્ફ્લુઅન્સ લઈને ક્લાયન્ટ આવતા હોય છે. અને સિમિલરલી કોમર્શિયલ પ્રોજેક્ટમાં પણ એ જ ઇન્ફ્લુઅન્સથી એવું એપિયન્સ માંગે છે, ફોલ્સહુડ હોય, કશું જ કામનું નહીં હોય તો પણ એ જેકેટ અને ઈગો ઓરિએન્ટેડ સ્પિરિટ્સથી તમે એને આપી દેવાની ડિલિવરી કરવાના જ છે આ લોકો, કે મને પૈસો મળે છે લગાવતો.
So sometimes we choose ego to eco.
Yes, I have to satisfy that.
Okay, very nice. So Percy, coming to you, this one is related to academics. So as a teacher at a design institute, what are the challenges in focusing on sustainability in the curriculum?
To be very honest, there are no challenges about teaching sustainability to the students. There are no challenges. And to be very honest, it is practiced to an extent. I heard that you asked questions to Aizaz that why is it taught as a separate subject and not a part of the integrated studio. It is also taught as an integrated studio, but to tell the student that this is one of the important aspects that you should also focus as a primary topic. It is given a small credit so that when he goes, before he goes to the training, he's in the 7th or 8th semester. He's given this subject as a special subject. And this is done, I must now tell you, when they go to the offices, your offices or anybody's offices, the first thing that the architect tells him, જે ભણીને આવ્યો તો બધું ભૂલી જા, હવે હું તને ભણાવું છું.
Yes.
You see, you start with this statement કે જે ભણીને આવ્યો તે ભૂલી જા, હવે હું તને ભણાવું તે કર. So what we do, Jian and Aizaz and everybody, in this 5 years of architecture, you can't teach them architecture.
Right.
You can only teach them that you are supposed to now learn. When you go back into the profession, you are supposed to learn, and that you will understand from your lessons. અમે જે શીખવીએ ને તેની પરીક્ષા લઈ લઈએ ને પછી એ સમજાવે કે હવે તું બજારમાં જશે ને તો જિંદગી તારી પરીક્ષા લેશે ને પછી તને શીખવશે એમાંથી. That is what we are training him.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Percy bhai. I'm on your side.
Pardon?
I'm on your side.
Thank you. I thought you were on the other side. No, therefore he was not asking me question. मैं कब से बैठा हूँ कि मेरा टर्न ही नहीं लग रहा है, दो इधर ही जा रहा है. But he was trying to please both the developers.
Percy.
And he was trying to hear about his sustainability.
Percy.
Anyway, on a lighter side.
So I promise you in the next round, the first question goes to you.
સ્નેહલ, આ એવું નથી, થોડુંક તો એકેડેમિકલી આ ડિરેક્શન્સ તો આપવી જ જોઈએ. બિલકુલ હા, એકદમ એવું તો નથી કહેવાય કે હવે તમારે નેક્સ્ટ પ્રોફેશનમાં જાઓ એટલે.
એવું નહીં કહેતા હોઈએ, ડાયરેક્શન તો આપીએ, પણ you can only give them glimpse of everything. See, education is now become multidisciplinary. When they learn architecture, you just can't teach them just architecture. You have to teach them economics, you have to teach them law, you have to teach them right to information, you have to teach them constitution, you have to teach them everything. You have to teach them statistics, economics, everything. And therefore, and you know what? The sad part of the story is that out of 6 months of semester, the total contact days is only 90. The rest goes in holidays and weekends and Black Day and Rose Day and Flower Day and Odd Day and I don't know what days, right? So it is a challenging job for the teacher. But if a teacher can create students like Jian or students like Ankit who are ready to go to the profession and learn and then practice, I think we have done our job. So what we do is we develop them into like a sponge, ready to absorb that comes from life. We can only tell you the basics. And it is such a vast field, don't you expect that when they go, they can call themselves architect as per the Council of Architecture Act, but they are not close to becoming an architect. They are far from becoming an architect.
Correct.
They still have to work in an architect's office. They still have to practice. આજે પહેલે જ દિવસથી નોટ છાપવાનું જે મગજમાં વિચાર હોય ને ત્યાં ગરબડ છે. You know? And therefore, because a student is not ready from day one, સ્નેહલે બે ગ્રુપમાં આ પેનલ ડિસ્કશન કર્યું, એક જેન ઝેડ અને એક અમારું. Because he knows કે અમુક વર્ષ પછી જ ખબર પડે શું બોલવાનું. Right? So I think it is life that teaches you more than what college can teach you.
Right. So yeah, it was very, very nice response, Percy bhai. And I think I totally agree with you. The best thing a college can do is make a learner out of the students, because things are changing so fast that you anyway know that what you learned in those 5 years are not going to be directly useful as knowledge. So thank you so much for your answer. So that concludes the second round.
એક જ મિનિટ, જે ઇન્સ્ટિટ્યુશન્સ તમને નોલેજ આપો છો, ડિલિવર કરો છો, એમાં એક વસ્તુનું લેકિંગ હોય છે, સિન્સિયરિટી ટુવર્ડ્સ ધ પ્રોફેશન્સ. જેવી રીતે ડૉક્ટરમાં થોડુંક પ્રોફેશનલી સિન્સિયરિટી હોય છે ને, તેવું અત્યારના જે સ્ટુડન્ટ્સ આવે છે આઉટ, તો થોડુંક કમ્પ્લેન તો ખરી જ કે બિલકુલ સિન્સિયરિટી નથી. તે આર એન્ટરટેનિંગ, લાઈક ટેક એઝ એ એન્ટરટેનમેન્ટ these professions, most of them. There must be some.
I think to decipher the Gen Z, we need to do another debate to actually, because nobody's figuring out. As parents also, we try to struggle with our children. So I think that calls for another nice debate. That's a very valid point. And so going to the round 3, which is about now sharing your experiences, how you've been benefited with sustainability. Percy bhai, the first question, as I promised you, from your personal experience, can you share the benefits of living a healthy lifestyle and the role of sustainable thought process in it?
From my personal experience,
Yes, I'm
not
talking,
as a teacher.
I'm referring to that image of cow and you.
Right. I met Ajit, brother Ajit Bhai, sorry. I met Ajit Bhai after maybe 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
And the first thing he told me, you are inspiring seeing you. You told me this, right? So I was 122 kilos and now I'm 83.
Wow.
Right. So this is the benefit of living a sustainable life. I bought a farm and I started working like a farmer. And I realized that unless your life is not practiced the way it has to be lived, no matter how much you earn, it doesn't matter. So today I'm sure they are rich builders. But if you see my social media, people tell me that you are a billionaire. How can you afford such a life? Because I enjoy my life. So I think I have benefited to such an extent that Ajit, who inspires all the architects today, I have been able to inspire Ajit.
Yes.
So that's the benefit of living a sustainable life.
Wonderful. Let's give him a big hand. Thank you. It's truly an inspiration for so many of us.
Pardon?
You are truly an inspiration for so many of us. So
And
thank
the
you,
credit-
Percy.
And the credit goes to my wife.
Okay. So anybody else wants to add to this? Yes.
So in my life, probably that after understanding sustainability and a microwave, I think that few changes we have made, that instead of printing on one side of the page, we have started using the other side of page also. We have started using denims for at least 4 or 5 times wearing and then going for wash. We are going to have, serving water in the glass bottle instead of plastic bottle. That could be, list is endless. Maybe if we have to go somewhere, then we prefer to go for a carpool. So these are the small changes probably gone for that. Probably for the site, if I can say that when we explain that flushing system, there are the 2 keys are that 3 liter and 6 liter. Then people started opting for, let's go for that, 3 liter and 6 liter. So there are many things are that for a SCADA meter, that when we started measuring the first parameter of saving energy, we were thrilled to understand that this is the impact we have brought to the site. So of course that there are many things that at the traffic light, if we can close down our engine, or these are the small micro level changes we have started making, and we have seen that our lifestyle has started adapting slowly and gradually to the new lifestyle, which is sustainable.
Fantastic. Great to know. Yes, Aditya.
સો આપણે ડિઝાઇનની વાત કરીએ તો જ્યારે અમે નિરમામાં એન્જિનિયરિંગમાં હતા તો એ બ્લોક્સની ડિઝાઇન જ એવી હતી કે અમદાવાદ જેવા હોટ રિજનમાં અમે બહારથી એન્ટર થઈએ ને તો લિટરલી ટેમ્પરેચર ડિફરન્સ ફીલ થાય વિધાઉટ એર કન્ડિશનિંગ. એ ક્લાસીસમાં અમે ભણતા હતા એન્જિનિયરિંગમાં, કોઈ પ્રોબ્લેમ નહોતો આવતો. લાઇટ અને વેન્ટિલેશન અને મોડરેટ આમ એન્વાયરમેન્ટ હતું. એ જ નિરમા યુનિવર્સિટીમાં જ્યારે મેં MBA કર્યું એના ક્લાસીસમાં એર કન્ડિશનિંગ હતું. એ જ ક્લાસીસમાં અમને એટલી બધી ઠંડી લાગતી હતી કે આમ કોન્સન્ટ્રેશન ત્યાં કરવું કે AC બંધ કરો ચાલુ કરો ના જ પ્રોબ્લેમ ચાલુ રહેતા હતા. સો ક્લાસિક એક્ઝામ્પલ કે કેવું ડિઝાઇન તમને કેવું એન્વાયરમેન્ટ આપે છે. સેમ ગોલ અમે અમારા જ્યારે ઓફિસ બિલ્ડિંગનું પ્લાનિંગનું સ્ટાર્ટ કર્યું તો એક મૂક્યું હતું કે ભાઈ અંદર જે બેસે છે કામ કરે છે એને આઉટપુટ મેક્સિમમ હોવું જોઈએ, એની એફિશિયન્સી સારામાં સારી હોવી જોઈએ, એટલે સારું એન્વાયરમેન્ટ મળવું જોઈએ. બહુ ડિબેટ કરી. એકચ્યુઅલી સેપમાં સર્વે કરવા ગયા હતા તો ત્યાં એ વખતે એ લોકો એક ફેન કંપની માટે સ્ટડી કરતા હતા, સેપ યુનિવર્સિટી. તો એમાં સ્ટડીનું રિઝલ્ટ એવું હતું જે અમને ત્યાંના પ્રોફેસરે કીધું કે આપણો જે ફેન છે આપણે જોઈ શકીએ એ સ્પીડ પર ચાલે અને 27-28 ડિગ્રી ટેમ્પરેચર હોય ને ત્યારે તમારું આઉટપુટ મેક્સિમમ આવશે, તમે કમ્ફર્ટેબલ મેક્સિમમ રહેશો. બહુ જ ડિબેટ કરીને મેં મારી ઓફિસમાં બધે જ ફેન મુકાવડાવ્યા છે. ભલે એસ્થેટિકલી ક્વેશ્ચન આવતા હતા પણ બધે જ ફેન મૂકાવ્યા છે અને ઓછામાં ઓછું એર કન્ડિશનિંગ લોડ પર અત્યારે લોકો સારી રીતે કામ કરે છે.
Wonderful. So nice to hear. You want to add something?
અમારી ઇન્સ્ટિટ્યૂટ છે વિદ્યાનગર, એ એટલી માર્વેલિયસલી ડિઝાઇન હતી. લેટ સૂર્યકાંત પટેલે ડિઝાઇન કરી હતી. 2 કોર્ટયાર્ડ, ઇફ યુ રિયલાઇઝ દેટ, એટલું સસ્ટેનેબલ હતું જે અમારે તો વોલ પણ નહોતી ક્લાસને અને ફ્રી એન્વાયરમેન્ટ હતું. એ અમારામાં ઇનહરન્ટ પોર થઈ ગયું હતું. એ સ્કૂલને લઈને આજે મને પ્રાઉડ થાય છે કે મારા કોઈ બી બિલ્ડિંગ્સમાં મોસ્ટ ઓફ સસ્ટેનેબિલિટી મેન્ટેન હોય છે. ઇવન મારા બંગલોઝ તમે જોશો કોઈ પણ એની લાઇટ, નેચરલ લાઇટ, એર વેન્ટિલેશન, કોઈ ફોર્સ વેન્ટિલેશનની જરૂર જ નહીં હોય. ઇવન ધ સ્પિરિટ ઓફ દેટ સસ્ટેનેબિલિટી તમને જોવા મળે. એ અમારી ઇન્સ્ટિટ્યુશનમાં હતું અને એ જ વસ્તુ અમને મળી છે. હું ટ્રાય કરતો તો આ તમારું સ્કેટ બનતું હતું ત્યારે પણ આઈ એમ નોટ દેટ મચ એબલ ટુ ડુ દેટ.
But now we are making a new building.
I know that.
Yeah. And of course, you know the certification. We are going to get that certification. પણ સારી કવિતા બી લખીએ ને તે બી ઓડિયન્સને સમજાવવી પડે. એટલે એક વાર બિલ્ડિંગ પર વિઝિટ રાખશું ને સમજાવશો તો કદાચ સર્ટિફિકેશનનો માહોલ ખબર પડી જશે. બટ વન મોર થિંગ, ફ્રોમ હિઝ સ્ટેટમેન્ટ આઈ કેન સે કે ખાલી સ્કૂલ કોલેજ શીખવતી નથી, કોલેજની બિલ્ડિંગ બી શીખવે છે. That is, yeah. So when you get inspired, you learn.
Yeah, thank you so much. You want to add something? Book luggage. Okay, so book luggage hai, so we'll go to the next round now. Okay. So coming to the more of serious questions. So Neeraj bhai, what is your role? What is the role of policies and incentives in driving both profitability and sustainability in construction industry?
ની સમજ પડી પરિવાર.
Government policies and incentives નો શું રોલ છે in driving both profitability and sustainability in construction?
રોલ એ છે કે ડેવલપર્સને પ્રમોટ કરવા માટે આ પોલિસી આપી છે અને આઈ થિંક આ પોલિસીનો બેનિફિટ આપણે લેશું. હજુ જંત્રી વધશે ને પછી બહુ મજા આવશે. એ 5%ની એમાઉન્ટ વધી જશે અને આટલું કરવા પછી પણ ડેવલપર્સ એટલું ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ લેતા નથી. સો I think હજુ કંઈક થોડું વધારે આપવું જોઈએ.
Once they start seeing more happening, then they will run.
ચાલુ હા કમ્પેર ટુ લાસ્ટ 5 years અત્યારે ઘણા બધા છે પાઇપલાઇનમાં સર્ટિફિકેશન્સ. બટ મેં તમને જે કીધું એમ કે ભાઈ એટલો ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ નથી લોકોને.
So would you recommend any changes to these policies?
પોલિસીમાં હું તમને કહું છું એમ કે હજી થોડું વધારે આપવું જોઈએ કે કંઈક ડિસ્કાઉન્ટ. આઈ થિંક પૂનામાં આઈ એમ નોટ શ્યોર, ત્યાં પેલા કોર્પોરેશન ટેક્સમાં કંઈક ડિસ્કાઉન્ટ મળે છે, બેનિફિટ મળે છે. આવી કોઈ પોલિસી હોય તો જે બાયરો છે એ પણ કંઈક માગશે કે અમને સર્ટિફાઈડ ગ્રીન બિલ્ડિંગ આપો તો એ સર્ટિફિકેટ
પ્રોપર્ટી ટેક્સમાં મોટા
બેનિફિટ આપશે. FSIમાં જે 5% છે એના 7 or 10% કરી શકાય. તો બહુ બધું છે પોલિસીમાં. બનાવવા બેસીએ તો આખી બુક બને એવી છે પણ હવે એ બનવી જોઈએ.
બનશે
કારણ કે એટલે બનશે મને એવું લાગે છે કે આઈ થિંક પેલું નેટ ઝીરોનો ટાર્ગેટ છે 2070 સુધીમાં મોદી સાહેબનો, ઠીક છે, એટલે એ મને એવું લાગે છે કે પછી ફરજિયાત આવશે જ કે તમારે બધા ફરજિયાત ગ્રીન બિલ્ડિંગ બનાવવાના છે, પછી બધા જ બનાવશે.
સો સસ્ટેનેબિલિટી માટે જેટલી કોસ્ટ લેટ સે 5%, 10% ઓર 15% વોટ એવર ઇન્ક્રીઝ થાય છે એ એટલું સેટ ઓફ મળે પછી કંઈ જરૂર નથી. નંબર 1, તમે આપણે સોલાર પેનલ લઈ લઈએ. સોલાર પેનલ તો વર્ષોથી ચાલે છે, કેમ અત્યારે આટલી બધી ચાલી, સબસિડીઝ આવવા માંડી, હવે એના ઇકોનોમિક બેનિફિટ દેખાય છે કે 8 રૂપિયાની મારો પર યુનિટની કોસ્ટની સામે મને ઇકોનોમિક વાયબિલિટી બેસે છે. તો એટલી ઇન્સેન્ટિવ સરકાર આપવા માંડી ત્યારે બિઝનેસ ચાલવા માંડ્યો. હવે વોલ્યુમ છે તો ઓટોમેટિક એની પ્રોડક્શન કોસ્ટ ઘટી. એવી રીતે ટુ સ્ટાર્ટ વિથ મોટા ઇમ્પેક્ટ લેવલ પર જવું હશે તો સરકારનું જ ઇન્વોલ્વમેન્ટ એમાં જોઈશે કે થોડું ઘણું કોસ્ટ સેટ ઓફ કરે ને થોડી ઘણું એ કદાચ રેગ્યુલેશન્સ વધારે. બંને કરવાથી આ ધીરે ધીરે વધશે ને જેટલું વોલ્યુમ વધશે ને એવી ઓટોમેટિક એની કોસ્ટ આવશે જ કંટ્રોલમાં.
Okay. So Adarshbhai, continuing with that, now talking about the construction technology, we've been using the same kind of frame structures with brick masonry, etc. for so many years now. Since I was in my college at least, I've been seeing that. But we also know કે આ કેટલું inefficient છે, how much wastage happens because of this. But when is that time when we cross over to much better technologies? What do you think? How far are we from that time?
Okay, so I'll give you one example. GIFT City માં અમે એક પ્રોજેક્ટ કરી રહ્યા છે, રાઈટ? વી આર ડુઈંગ ફ્રેમ સ્ટ્રક્ચર. એક્ઝેક્ટ મારી બાજુમાં એક ડેવલપર છે, એ સ્ટીલ સ્ટ્રક્ચર કરે છે, JSSL ડિઝાઇન કર્યું છે. ઇઝ ડેવલપર ઇઝ માય ફ્રેન્ડ. તો મેં એની પાસેથી કમ્પ્લીટ ડિટેલ લીધી કે ભાઈ તું કેમ આમાં ગયો. હી શોડ મી ધી ડેટા. JSSL અત્યારે 7th ફ્લોર પર આવી ગયું. એની જે કન્સ્ટ્રક્શન કોસ્ટ છે ઇટ ઇઝ 18.7% હાયર દેન ધી નોર્મલ. એટલી એક્સ્ટ્રા છે. હવે એણે શું કામ એ કર્યું તો બે વસ્તુ કે એક કે ઓબ્વિયસલી એને થોડું કંઈક નવું કરવાનો એક અપ્રોચ કરવો હતો. બીજું કે સિન્સ ઇટ ઇઝ ઇન ગિફ્ટ સિટી તો એક થોડું સ્ટેન્ડ આઉટ થાય. અને થર્ડ કે એણે એવું અઝમ્પશન મૂક્યું હતું કે ભાઈ હું જેટલું જલ્દી પ્રોડ્યુસ કરીશ એટલું જલ્દી ઓક્યુપેશન લેવલે આવશે તો મારે અહીંયા સેલિબ્રિટીમાં મને બેનિફિટ થશે એવું એણે મૂક્યું અને એ રીતે એ કામ કરે છે. એની બાજુમાં જ અમે જે કરીએ છીએ તો અમે ફ્રેમ સ્ટ્રક્ચરમાં છીએ બિકોઝ અમે એ જોયું કે નોન એસીઝેડ એરિયામાં પ્રાઇસ પણ એક મેટર કરશે માર્જિનની સાથે. તો અમે એ રેગ્યુલર પેલામાં કરીએ છીએ. હવે જ્યારે આ કોસ્ટ ઇકોનોમિક બેનિફિટ એક લેવલે જશે ત્યારે એનું અડોપ્શન થવા માંડશે.
So my question is કે કેટલા દૂર છે હજુ આપણે આનાથી? કારણ કે અત્યારે એવરીબડી ઇઝ સ્ક્રીબિંગ અબાઉટ લેબરર નથી મળતા, માણસો નથી મળતા, હોળી આવે છે, માણસો જતા રહે છે, બટ સ્ટીલ નો બડી ઇઝ રિયલી મેકિંગ ધ બિગ મૂવ. દેટ ઇઝ વોટ આઈ સી.
એમાં હવે લેબર નથી મળતા એગ્રી, પણ આજે એમ વિચારે કે ભાઈ લેબર નથી મળતા પણ હું એને 15-20% હાયર નવી ટેકનોલોજીમાં નાખું એની જગ્યાએ અહીંયા 5% લેબરને વધારે આપી દો તો બીજા કરતાં મારી પાસે પહેલો આવી જશે, રાઈટ? તો એ વસ્તુ જ્યાં સુધી ઇક્વિલિબ્રિયમ નહીં બેસે ત્યાં સુધી 100 એનું અડોપ્શન લેવલ ધીરે ધીરે જ થવાનું છે.
અજીતભાઈ, હાઉ ડુ યુ લુક એટ ધીસ ઇશ્યુ? ઇવોલ્યુશન ઇન કન્સ્ટ્રક્શન ટેકનોલોજી.
કોઈ પણ ઇવોલ્યુશન હોય ને એ ગ્રેજ્યુઅલી જ જાય. તમે કોઈ પણ ઇવોલ્યુશનને ફાસ્ટ કરવા જાઓ ને તે કોલેપ્સ થઈ જાય હંમેશા. તો કન્સ્ટ્રક્શન ટેકનોલોજી જે ટ્રેડિશનલી ચાલે છે અને સસ્ટેનેબલ કંઈક મૂકવી હોય, હવે આદર્શ જોડે ઓલવેઝ આ બર્નિંગ ક્વેશ્ચન્સ છે. બેઉ કંટાળીએ એટલે એક જ ચર્ચા કરીએ કે હવે નવું શું કરી શકાય આમાં. કંટાળી ગયા તો પ્રીકાસ્ટ ઇવન કોન્ક્રીટ પ્રીકાસ્ટ મેમ્બર કોન્ક્રીટના માટે પણ વાયેબલ નથી અત્યારે સુરત શહેરમાં. કારણ કે 2 મેમ્બર જો તૂટી જાય કારણ કે સ્કિલ લેબર ન મળે તો એ 2 મેમ્બર જો ફેલ જાય તો મારી કોસ્ટ ક્યાંથી ક્યાં ચાલી જાય. સો ઇવોલ્યુશન જેમ અવેરનેસ આવશે, ટેકનોલોજીકલી અપગ્રેડેશન આવશે. પહેલાં કોઈ ક્રેન નહોતું લાવતું બિલ્ડિંગ બનાવવા માટે ઊંચી. ઇવન હવે તો 45 મીટરનું હોય કે 40 મીટર્સનું હોય તે ક્રેન લગાવી દે છે કારણ કે ઇઝીલી ઓપરેટર મળી જાય છે. તો એ ઇવોલ્યુશન ગ્રેજ્યુઅલી થાય ને એ દિશામાં જ આપણે આગળ જવું જોઈએ. અનનેસેસરીલી બહુ ફાસ્ટ જશું ને તો કોલેપ્સ થઈ જશે અને લોકોને ટ્રસ્ટ નહીં રહેશે.
ફેર પોઈન્ટ, ફેર પોઈન્ટ. સો સંજયભાઈ, something of your interest, looking at how AI is disrupting traditional design consultancy practice, what are the kind of shifts that we need to have in our way of working and adding software tools, technologies, etc., so that we are more prepared to do better projects? What do you think?
So a lot of thoughts. my perception and the view and what I see the market is altogether a different one. What I see is that the way the disruptions is happening in every field, the way the Zomato, Swiggy or the other people, other technology companies are taking over, probably that if I just put up a analogy of an automobile company, there are a lot of automobile engineers, but not everyone design the car. And there are a lot of manufacturing companies, but not everyone manufacture the automobile. So similarly, future of the building industry could be that a very standard design, 3 BHK or 4 BHK with the module name, say Solitaire or Aura, will be there, and 1 million copies of that can be produced somewhere in some part of, or might be get assembled like iPhone, what we see. It is what you are holding it, having a more than 200 parts, more than 40 countries, and it has been assembled at Foxconn. Similar thing can happen. We are almost into a dying profession, architect and designer. We need to reinvent ourselves. Until and unless that we don't reinvent ourselves, probably there is a very bleak future or the blurred future I can see.
So, Ajit bhai, what do you think? હું તો ડરી ગયો.
એવું તો નથી જ કે કોઈ પણ સંજોગોમાં આપણે ચેન્જ આપીએ ત્યારે ટ્રાન્ઝિસ્ટન્સ પીરિયડમાં સફરિંગ આવે, રાઈટ. હવે સપોઝ મોડ્યુલર ટાઈપ બધાને તમે એક બોક્સ આપી દો લિવિંગ સ્ટાઇલ, એ ઇન્ડિવિજ્યુઅલી થર્ડ વર્લ્ડમાં પોસિબલ નથી. જ્યારે મિકેનિકલ લાઈફ થઈ જશે ને બધાની, સાવ ઇમોશન્સ આઉટ ઓફ માઇન્ડ ચાલ્યા જશે, ત્યારે પોસિબલ છે કે તમે એક સરખો બોક્સ બધાને આપી દો. લેબર એન્ડ એનિમલ ટાઈપ તમે જો લાઈફસ્ટાઈલ કરી નાખો તો જ પોસિબલ છે. તો જે આપણી કલ્ચર છે, ઇન્ડિવિજ્યુઆલિટી એઝ વેલ એઝ ડાયવર્સિટી, એને એન્જોય કરવી જોઈએ ને એ ડિઝાઇનર માટે પ્રિવિલેજ છે. તમે અમેરિકામાં હું અલાસ્કાથી જાઉં ને ફ્લોરિડા જાઉં, એક જ સરખા ઘર હોય, એક જ સરખું હોર્ડિંગ્સ હોય, એક સરખા જ રોડ હોય, સો મોનોટોનસ. હાર્ડલી અમુક એલએમાં ને ન્યુયોર્કમાં હાર્ડલી ચેન્જ છે, પણ નોર્મલ લેવલે એકદમ ફ્લેટ છે. મને જવાનું ગમતું નથી કે એક જ સરખું જોવાનું. તો તમે એવી રીતે વાત કરો કે આને મોડ્યુલર સિસ્ટમમાં મૂકી દઈએ, ફાસ્ટ કન્સ્ટ્રક્શન કરીએ અને સેવિંગ કરીએ, વેસ્ટેજ નહીં બનાવીએ, તો ડિઝાઇનરનો એ ટચ જ નહીં રહેશે ઇન્ડિવિજ્યુઅલ પરસેપ્શન્સ માટે. તો એ દિશામાં બી વિચારવું જોઈએ કે આપણે ત્યાં ડિઝાઇનરોની વેલ્યુ છે પાછું, એવું નથી.
I think I'm split between both the points. Both are equally right, and that's the beauty about how we live as human beings. And so, Percy bhai, the question to you is, going forward, how can academic institutions better prepare future professionals to view sustainability as an opportunity and not a compromise? How does the academia prepare its teachers, pedagogy, and infrastructure to deliver what is needed?
Yeah, I think there needs a big paradigm shift in the way we teach. And post-corona, we are now seeing a major shift in how education is imparted. Very soon, we will have lots of global universities also coming to India, giving education online. And people have understood the importance of online education. It all depends on how sincere the seeker of education is. Right? And therefore, it will be very imperative for all the academic institutions to make changes. And the first change would be to prepare its teacher resource. What we learn from our teacher is the same method what we teach to our students, but things have changed. So I think the first thing that we need to do is change our resources or upgrade our resources. And when I say resource, it means teaching resource, it means infrastructure, it means pedagogy, it means methodology, it means curriculum. Everything needs to be changed. And now it is more important that an architect who, like somebody was saying, I think Ankit was saying, the architect has to see in air conditioning, he has to see in this, he has to see in this. If we really want to remain the leader of the design industry, we will have to have a multifaceted education opportunity. We'll have to have multidimensional educational opportunity. And that is what the question that you asked Aizaz about collaboration. He talked about collaboration in offices, but I think education institutions will have to collaborate amongst teachers. amongst teachers of other discipline, with teachers of other institution, and soon we will see that institution is not a standalone institution. We'll have to break the boundaries and the barriers and mix up. And therefore, unless and until a holistic curriculum is prepared where an architect is a social thinker. See what beautiful answer he gave, that how can you take away the liberty of or the opportunity of an individual to live the way culturally he's been brought up. You can't make him live like an animal for the same cube which is given to all the 1,000 people. So unless we architects are not trained to be social thinkers, unless we architects are not trained to be economists, unless we are not trained to be an anthropologist, unless we are not trained to be engineers, managers, administrators, and therefore, once we try to make this education multifaceted, sustainability will be taken care on its own. Because then the guy or the student is ready to receive inputs from multiple dimensions. And when he's ready to receive from multiple dimensions, he's going to worry the way a builder worries. He says, if I don't see profit, I'm not going to accept it. Like, I remember one beautiful statement you said to Aizaz. His name was Ajay or Abhay, the builder? Huh? Dhaval. He said, you gave him the cake, he took the cake, but he did not bite it.
Yes.
Right? That's what a developer is. An architect can give him the cake, but he will bite it only if he sees profit. You know? And this will come to a student or an architect if we impart that kind of education. So I think, and now when I say, see, asking us about a good experience, there are so many successful architects sitting over here. I invite you all, come to the college and share your experience. Impart your knowledge to my students. Unless the profession will not connect with academia, academic institution will not be able to change its curriculum. So I think it is an equal responsibility of the society
Very good.
To approach us. It is very easy to say कि आपने पढ़ाया नहीं, आपने क्या किया, you know, right? So I now appeal to all of you, Sakaria and all of you. You are doing great practices. Today we had an alumni meeting. I'm so happy to share one important thing. There are about 110 people. I just counted. There are 25 students of mine sitting over here. Now that is the impact a good education institution can create. That out of the 100 concerned citizens, 25% is my student. So the remaining 75% and this 25% who are sitting over here, please come to the college, share your experiences. When you will share, I'm sure most of your complaints will be addressed by the next generation. And that is sustainability, sharing of knowledge, looking for a greater future and creating a better legacy. That is sustainability.
Thank you. Yes.
So that I just wanted to say, take this opportunity that it is Mauni Amavasya, it is Mahakumbh, Chinese New Year, and I think what you started, if I put it up and dedicate a line for Snehal, being a moderator and the curator for this program, कि हो गई है पीर पर्वत सी पिघलनी चाहिए, इस हिमालय से कोई गंगा तो निकलनी चाहिए.
Yes.
सिर्फ हंगामा खड़ा करना तुम्हारा मकसद नहीं, पूरी कोशिश है कि ये सूरत बदलनी चाहिए. तेरे सीने में ना सही, इसके सीने में ही सही, हो कहीं भी आग लेकिन आग जलनी चाहिए.
So beautiful, so beautiful. Wow. So, Perciba, as a response, I'm so very happy and glad to hear. તમે બહુ દિલથી શેર કર્યું, બહુ articulated રીતે કર્યું, and I'm sure it would have touched a lot of students, but also beyond students, that we can't sit here and crib about anything. If we want to change something, you become part of the solution. Only then the sustainability happens. And on that note, I'd like to ask you, all the learned people, to give one suggestion or guidance for the future to all the audience which is sitting here. One point, તમને શું લાગે છે કે શું થવું જોઈએ કે શું કરવું જોઈએ આ લોકોએ? Some word of guidance for them.
સ્નેહલ, આ ડિબેટ આ હોલમાં ન થવો જોઈએ. સરસ લોકેશન સિલેક્ટ કરવું જોઈએ અને સસ્ટેનેબલ બતાવવું જોઈએ કે વિથઆઉટ એર કન્ડિશનિંગ, રાઈટ, વિથઆઉટ ફ્રેશ એર, એ સૌથી પહેલી જરૂર હતી. તો નેક્સ્ટ ટાઈમ મારા સ્ટુડન્ટ્સ કે એમના સ્ટુડન્ટ્સ જ્યારે આ ડિબેટ કરે ત્યારે જસ્ટિફાય થવું જોઈએ કોઈ બિલ્ડિંગનો શેડો કેવી રીતે આફ્ટરનૂનમાં પણ સસ્ટેનેબલ થઈ શકે એવી ટોક્સ હોવી જોઈએ.
થેન્ક યુ સો મચ. ફીડબેક ટેકન.
એસી વગર જ્ઞાન લેવું હોય તો દમણમાં જ રાખજો.
ઓકે.
એક લાસ્ટ કે જે તમે કીધું આ 2009માં જેવું એન્જિનિયરિંગ MBA કમ્પ્લીટ થયું ને મુંબઈમાં એક ગ્રીન બિલ્ડિંગ IGBCની ગ્રીન બિલ્ડિંગનું 2 દિવસનું સેમિનાર હતો. બધાના પ્રેઝન્ટેશન્સ હતા. એના પછી ક્વેશ્ચન આન્સરનો રાઉન્ડ હોય. સેમ ક્વેશ્ચન, સર કિતની કોસ્ટ હોતી है? નો આન્સર. એક જ આર્કિટેક્ટ અભિક્રમા ડિઝાઇન નિમેશ પટેલ સર, એક જ આર્કિટેક્ટનું પ્રેઝન્ટેશન, આખી ઓડિયન્સ સ્ટેન્ડિંગ ઓવેશન. ક્વેશ્ચન વગર એમણે જ આખું એનું જે પ્રોજેક્ટ બનાવ્યો હતો એનું કમ્પ્લીટ કોસ્ટિંગ સહિત કમ્પેરિઝન સહિત બતાવી દીધું. અગર આ ડિટેલ ડેવલપર્સને કે આર્કિટેક્ટ્સને મળે તો એને પૂરેપૂરી ક્લેરિટી આવે.
સો નાઇસ પોઈન્ટ. થેન્ક યુ સો મચ આદર્શભાઈ. નીરજભાઈ, યુ વોન્ટ ટુ એડ સમ ધ લાસ્ટ વર્ડ્સ ઓફ વિઝડમ?
ઓડિયન્સને એડવાઇઝ એ છે કે લાઈક સ્ટાર્ટ ગ્રીન લાઈફ, જે હું લોકોને કહેતો હોઉં છું કે ભાઈ મોટું વિચારવા કરતાં પહેલાં નાનું વિચારીએ. જેમ તમે જે લાઈફ જીવો છો, આઈ કેન સે ધીસ ઇઝ ગ્રીન લાઈફ. યુ આર સેવિંગ એવરીવેર, યુ આર સેવિંગ વોટર, સેવિંગ ઇલેક્ટ્રિસિટી. આ બધી જો હેબિટ્સમાં આવી જાય અને નેક્સ્ટ જનરેશનને પણ એ શીખવાડી દઈએ તો ઘણું બધું સેવિંગ થઈ જાય એમ છે. આ બધું તો પછી થશે જ.
સો નાઇસલી પુટ. સંજયભાઈ?
So my point could be that learning from film industry, if many spot boys been also credited and the project is more important, compared to that we have to drop our signature style and instead of holding the steering in a collaboration economy we have to work together.
Thank you so much. Anybody else wants to add something? Percy bhai, Ajit bhai? Done? So I'll not, sorry Percy bhai, you want to say something?
No, I was just trying to narrate one sentence that Aizaz said, that roti, kapda or makan. That's what you said, right? I think once that basic needs is overcome, roti, kapda or makan, then you talk about sustainability. And today we are all talking about sustainability, means we have overcome this minimum basic requirement of roti, kapda or makan. So time has come for all of us to give back to the society. And that is the vow we can take.
For me, I think a green heart is the beginning of sustainability. It is not a job of only mine. Mine only does a supporting role. So if we can somehow figure out how to greenify our heart, I think that is the first step according to me. On that note, I really like to thank all of you so much for your candid thoughts and beautiful drops of wisdom you showered over the entire audience. And it was a wonderful opportunity for me to moderate it. Thank you so much.
Of course, to our leader, architect Snehal Shah, for adding so much humor and entertainment to such thought-provoking session. And now, to felicitate our speakers, I'd like to invite on stage Mr. Jitendra Kshatriya from Shuko, and along with him, Mr. Karan Rai. Thank you so much. And that wraps up another session and edition of Design Debate in the city of Surat. I thank you all for your patience and for being an amazing audience. From me and the entire team of ITP Media, I'd like to extend my thanks to our partners and acknowledge that the event is powered by ICA, associate partner is Shuko, and category partner is Ozone. Thank you all for your support, and once again I'd like to thank our esteemed audience, a very dear guest of honor, a talented curator and moderator, and all the speakers of both the panels for taking time and making this event a huge success. It was a pleasure to be here again and hope to see you guys soon.